All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you are bearing with us online, we are finally up and going here at this Duel in Guthrie, America. We are at the Guthrie Junior High, where the Guthrie Bluejays are hosting a Duel between Tuttle and El Reno and Guthrie. The Tuttle and El Reno high school boys and junior high boys recently finished up their match, and now we are watching the girls compete. And the match currently, we're on mat number 2 watching Guthrie take on El Reno. And there's another match going on mat 1. Now, those of you that have been tuning in are used to a lot better camera quality. Tonight we are makeshifting with what we have to work with. Having a bunch of difficulties. That's why it took us so long to get online. But we will be going now based on this. Not too many close-ups tonight. We're going to keep a far-away camera shot from up here in the crow's nest. But we should be able to keep action with you. I'm going to hop off here for just a second and finish up the rest of my duties for the main duels. Guthrie is still going to be taking on Tuttle, and they're also going to be taking on El Reno after these girls compete. We'll leave it here for you live, and I will be back shortly. Check, check. As good as what we're used to. Put a new capture card. New capture card. Duel. Tuttle. Let me switch my graphic. Well, no, because when I change my graphic, it'll team score away. We'll go to, what team is this? Reno? Reno. Our away team will be Reno. Copy that. They're going to be taking on Reno as well. That's Tuttle over there. I think they're going to start it. They go over just going to get all the matches they want. They just can't go past it. I think 7:15 is the time they were allowed on that. 7:45. And then it says that from 8 to 9:15 to 8 o'clock is when they're supposed to start. Looks like they're warming up like they're getting ready to wrestle, though. And they're going to take on Tuttle first. They just started up at 0-0. Yeah, once I just put that welcome up. Do you think? I guess go ahead and call this one. You ready to go for over there? You okay? You over there? I can run this. If that's all set up, I can do this and you can go home. Well, if I need to do this, I can. But the camera just still on that. They probably hot dogs down there, don't they? Nachos, but probably shouldn't. What's that? All right, folks. If you have been tuning in, it's just been crowd noise, but I'm going to jump in here and call this matchup between Guthrie and El Reno girls. This is the high school girls. So the junior high girls have already wrestled. The high school girls just got done wrestling Tuttle, and now the Guthrie high school girls are taking on El Reno as these two girls hand fight here. El Reno down on a high crotch. Finishes that high C for a three-point takedown. She's looking now to swim for that head for a half to see about near fall. Catches the far arm. And now El Reno, real limber as the Guthrie girl. She gets back to her base. And she's trying to get to her base, but El Reno able to pick up that barbed wire. She caught the far arm underneath. Runs it around the head. They call that a barbed wire because the arms get all twisted up. It's a tough spot for the Guthrie girl. Limber enough to get her legs over top, but both of her shoulders were flat on the mat. And that's where El Reno's able to pick up the fall. Little sportsmanship hug here. That's going to put 6 points on the board for El Reno's girls as they start the high school matchup off with a victory. And then we will get back to action here at the next weight class. A lot of these are more exhibition styles. Neither team has a full roster, but they had to run an official duel today so that this particular weigh-in could be an official weigh-in so these girls could get certified. So oftentimes in these duels, when both teams don't have enough wrestlers, they will just put together exhibition matches and kind of mix and match, if you will. But in this case, the teams have to make weight to certify. They have to certify in order to compete at the regional tournament. And so the coaches are going to run an official duel here just to get the semantics right. And so some of these matchups will not be wrestled just because of that reason. And then where the two teams do have girls matched up, they will wrestle. So we'll kick off here a couple weights up from where we were. I think we started at 110. And perhaps skipped a weight, and now we're going to wrestle here. I apologize, I do not have the names of these wrestlers in the graphics. We had a hard time getting things started today. Should have been on air for the last couple of hours, but finally we're able to get a makeshift camera set up for you guys at home, and that's allowed us to get going here as Guthrie finds herself in a bad spot. Her arms are all twisted up, and that's going to be another fall for El Reno, and 6 more points for them. As the Blue Jays are prepared out there on the mat. Looks like El Reno's getting her headgear all fixed up. She walked across the front there. She's going to go check in at the table. And here she comes now. As we start the third high school matchup tonight for the girls' high school team. And we're back to action here. Both girls get into collar ties. Going ear to ear, holding heavy on the head here. Guthrie's got a hold of the elbow, maybe going to try a pass by, maybe a duck under. Both girls are reaching for legs. Neither girl yet committed to either one of those attacks, just feeling each other out. Over on mat 2, the junior high boys have started their duel against Tuttle. As there have been several duels tonight here in the Guthrie Junior High Gymnasium, as El Reno picks up a takedown here. Now she gets on a half. Guthrie trying to post, just posting the wrong leg. Now she's getting her posture right. El Reno running a tough half here on top. Has got Guthrie over on her back. Going to spell trouble for Guthrie as El Reno picks up another pin. That's going to be 3 pins on the night so far for El Reno. Been a similar night for El Reno. Takedowns and pins. Guthrie girls excited that they've kicked off their first official season as a team. Coach Levi Casey is taking over the helm for this program. Super excited that he stepped up to take these girls. And in this first season, seen a lot of progress already so far. A lot of these girls, most of these girls, have no experience whatsoever. They raised their hand and said they wanted to give it a shot, so they are out here competing. We know El Reno's got a handful of really accomplished girls already. Their coach sent over a list of just accolades, and El Reno girls really have some experience, at least some of them do, and Guthrie girls hoping to get some of that as well as they start this team and start to wrestle some of the summer. They'll start to get some experience, and hopefully in the next few years we're going to be putting some girls into the state tournament, getting some medals, and really Levi Casey doing his best to build this program. We're excited for what is on the horizon for the girls program and Guthrie wrestling in general. Now both girls here just hand fighting, feeling each other out again. Cadence Blevins for the Blue Jays. Here hand fighting hard against El Reno. Has an inside tie on the left side, trying to pull the head down. Cadence has always been pretty good in this position. Does a good job keeping girls off her legs most of the time. Really trying to develop a leg attack. Has struggled at times and really does a good job fending off opponents, but really the scoring in here, a lot of times she likes to snap down to get behind, but leg attacks are something she's still trying to develop. But definitely good with collar ties. There's an underhook. Like to see that put a new little wrinkle in her game. As El Reno clamps down on that, now has an inside tie of her own. Cadence Blevins digs back inside to that collar. A lot of hand fighting going on here. No one's yet to make a good solid leg attack or anything yet. As we're dwindling down under 20 seconds now in this first period. These periods will go 2 minutes apiece. as they get down now under 5 seconds. Looks like we're going to end the period the way we started it at 0-0. Cadence Blevins of Guthrie did a good job there on her feet, being difficult to deal with. Initial choice is going to go to El Reno, and their wrestler is going to take down. Cadence Blevins on top for the Blue Jays. Quick whistle start stand-up for El Reno as she's trying to get away now, peeling hands. Blevins trying to get her back to the mat. Not able to yet as El Reno able to peel those hands and get away. And now the girls back on their feet. El Reno first to score here. Picks up a 1-point escape as she takes the lead early in the second period. We're back to more of the same here. Girls now fighting hands, more hand and wrist ties now. Earlier we were seeing collar ties and neck snaps. Now they're fighting wrist controls. There's a collar tie again. All these hand ties and wrist ties are all designed to not only stop your opponent, but also to set your opponent up for a leg attack as they possibly pull or yank their arm back or try to stand up to get their head back. There's the first shot of the night. In on a high crotch. El Reno's trying to pull that in. Cadence Blevins, she's got the back foot. She's got to pull it up and keep circling to her left as El Reno's got to continue to circle to her right. She's to her feet now. El Reno's in a better spot. She switched off to a double. Cadence Blevins trying to walk back, trying to get her legs back, trying to get her hips heavy. El Reno's pushing in. A little bit of excitement there. That was a nice little sequence. El Reno with a nice high crotch. Cadence Blevins did a good job of just scrambling there and getting her hips back. Did a very good job. Another double leg now. Big time double leg for El Reno. And she picks up 3 points for the takedown. And now El Reno in the second period is up 4-0. Cadence Blevins now finds herself on bottom, and she's going to have to try to find a way to get up here and get that point back under 15 seconds. It's going to be easier said than done. El Reno looking tough here on top. Trying to run up a chicken wing, it looks like. Cadence Blevins doing a good job posturing. She postured and got back to her base. Did a nice job there, and now she's got to work herself up and out, but it looks like she's going to run out of time before that happens. And that's going to put it up, El Reno up 4-0 going into the third period. Choice is going to go to Cadence Blevins, and coaches have a tough decision to make. But in order to win this match, Cadence is either going to need a couple of takedowns or she'll have to go on bottom, get away, and then turn around and get another takedown. So coaches felt like she was going to need that point either way. So they put her down, and now Cadence finds herself bellied out. El Reno's looking for that half. We've seen them get 3 or 4 halves just in the first few matches. So looks like that's something they run in El Reno. And Cadence now bellied out. Really in a bad way here. She's got 1 minute and 30 seconds to figure something out. She's going to have to get back to posturing like she did in the second. She's going to have to posture, get back to her base, but now rolled over in a chicken wing. Not a good spot for Cadence as she's stuck here on her back. And El Reno picks up another fall. Kind of an exciting match. There was some good action there in that one. The second period, things really picked up. El Reno got in on a couple shots, finally finished that double leg, and then went to work on top and picked up another fall for the Indians. Going to get to work here on, I believe, the 5th match of the night. Perhaps the 6th match. That's going to be a forfeit there. And as we get, this is going to be Isla Mae Smith.
What was the magic for me to fix it?
Isla Mae Smith here with a quick takedown for the Blue Jays. She's up on top, 3-0 for the takedown. She picked up 4 more points for the near fall, up 7-0 now, as she gets to work on top. Doing a great job here against El Reno. Isla Mae Smith's got this tight. She's got this locked up, and she picks up a fall for the Blue Jays to get them on the board with their first win of this duel. Nicely done there by Isla Mae Smith. One of the few girls we have on our team with some experience. Isla Mae shows that here as she got out early, got to work. She picked up a fall earlier tonight against Tuttle as well. Isla having a good night tonight for sure. Looking good for the Blue Jays. We're going to pick it up here. Looks like we'll have another match for the Blue Jays. Now it looks like this might be a forfeit. Referee trying to figure out who's going to go where. We're going to pick up a forfeit here for the Blue Jays. Going to put 6 more on the board for them. Again, kind of an odd duel tonight. Running a full duel, which is exciting. Never thought we'd see this in Guthrie. We have a girls team, enough girls to put a team together. Not a full team, but eventually that will be the goal, as there's probably 15 or 20 girls here tonight for the Blue Jays between the two junior high and high school girls. And now we're back to action here. El Reno with a heavy collar tie. She's going to try pass by here from a Russian tie. She picks up a single leg and now gets a takedown of her own. And she gets 3 points for that. She's trying to going to let the Guthrie girl go as we another underhook to a pass by. Picks up a high crotch, and now she's going to work on top. El Reno sent over a list of girls that have many accolades, a lot in the summertime. This has got to be one of those. Clearly wrestled a few minutes of her own as El Reno picks up another fall. And that's going to be 6 more points for their team. Indians having a good night here tonight against the Blue Jays, but the Blue Jays out here fighting hard. Looks like we're going to pick up another forfeit for the Indians. Going to put 6 more on the board for them. And it looks to me like we might be done with the duel. This will be the last forfeit, but I do see a couple of the smaller girls for the Indians suiting back up. I think these junior high girls are going to wrestle some of the high school girls just to try to get a couple exhibitions in. That's what Coach Casey said. So we'll see if maybe we get a couple more matches for the girls. I think what we're going to do here while we're waiting on the girls, junior high is dueling over there on mat 2. And they are dueling against El Reno. So I think we'll pan over here, try to get this camera set back up for them. I do apologize for the clunky nature of what we're doing tonight. Not normally used to a little bit higher tech equipment, but tonight we are making do with what we've got. And we'll try to make this the best we can for you folks. We'll zoom in over here. Catch the most of this if we can. Cade Carey over there for the Blue Jays. All right, we'll try to catch up here with the score. Over here on this junior high match, Cade Carey of the Blue Jays is in the second period. Looks like we're fixing to start that second period. Junior high second periods are 1 minute and 30. I believe the current score is 3-2. And we're back to action here. Clock is running. I'm not really sure what the score is down here. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this. I'm going to go ahead and pull this match score off. We'll just watch the match as it goes. Cade Carey on top here, working hard. He's got an inside. He's got that cross forearm dump. Looks like he's trying to work some type of a cradle or some type of a tilt out of it. And he's running around front for the barbed wire as he's circling hard for that head. Now he's getting to get caught in that Peterson. But he's able to work himself back out. Now he's going for a cradle with that arm over top under the leg. Oh, Reno, I believe it's Cale LaFoe is on bottom. And Cal LaFoe comes up with his headgear a mess, but was able to stay out of any trouble as we move into the next period. With no way of seeing the scoreboard, we're not going to know what the score is here, but they're back on their feet. As these guys get to work, Cade Carey of the Blue Jays had an exciting match last night in Blackwell. Finds himself in another good one here. LaFoe in on an inside single, and he's pulled that up all the way to his feet. He's going to try to shuck him forward and come across for the double leg. And Cade Carey with a heavy, heavy whizzer on the far side. He's let go of the whizzer and grabbed the ankle, which loaded up his own hips. LaFoe trying to lift here. Cade Carey now wisely gets back and stays heavy on his hips. Trying to stay square, circles the other way. Now he's circling the opposite direction. LaFoe coming back with a high C, gets the other leg. And now he picks his head back up to the single leg that he had originally. Referee's going to call stalemate here. No change in score, but a little bit of excitement. That was a nice little sequence we had. Cade Carey on the whistle, dives in on a head inside single, comes across for the double on the other side, runs his feet. Looks like he's going to pick up 3 points here as he climbs himself back on top. As we picked up this duel, we found him on top grinding away. Still not sure what that score is, but he's doing a good job here on top. He's got a leg in now, and LaFoe sits through, nearly gets on top, but Carey able to scramble his way back on top as he finishes up this match. Looks like Cade Carey is going to win at 132 pounds for the Blue Jays. And we're going to move on to 140 pounds, where Daniel Allen is going to take on Easton Schmidt. Daniel Allen for the Blue Jays, Easton Schmidt for Tuttle. Daniel in here tying up inside ties, trying to clear hands. Inside collar ties here. Both guys fighting hard for heavy hands. Feeling each other out as we work our way down inside the first minute. No score yet. No one's made any big commitments till now. Big inside single leg here as he circles to his right. Allen's tried to scramble out of that, but Easton Schmidt did a good job on that outside single. He just continued through and gathered up those legs. Now he's trying for a snap back. As Allen tried to sit out, just that standard suck bat. Easton Schmidt was trying to pull him, but he pulled himself out of bounds. And now we get reset here with 38 seconds left to go in the first period. Easton Schmidt of Tuttle on top of Daniel Allen of the Blue Jays. Schmidt now with the chicken wing. He's pulled back the bar arm. He caught the far arm. Now he's got the chicken wing, and he's going to work here. Look for him to run around the front of the head as Allen's trying to keep his shoulder down, but Schmidt's going to have a stack on the far side. So it's kind of, if you put your left arm up, you're going to get run over to your back, and if you put your left arm down, you're going to get tilted over to your back. That's one of the things about the chicken wing that makes it so difficult to defend. It's really you're danged if you do, danged if you don't. You just got to get your arm back and not let him have it again. Allen was able to get his arm back, and now he's got to start trying to work himself to his feet. Instead, he gets bellied out here as Schmidt able to ride tough on top. We should be running out of time here. Looks like this period's running a 2 minute instead of a minute and 30. And now warning for stalling. Schmidt not able to do much on bottom. Referee wants to see him try and do more. And so he's going to award a stall call. Period should be minute 30, but possibly running 2 minutes tonight. Daniel Allen's going to hop on top here. As Easton Schmidt's going to go on bottom, we go into the second period. Easton Schmidt quick to get up and get out. Allen trying to hold on to that leg. And gave up the reversal, which is worth 2. And now he's going to work on top of Daniel Allen. Allen stuck here on bottom. Found himself here in the last period. Really had a hard time basing up. Easton Schmidt sits on those hips heavy, not allowing him really to go anywhere. But with his elbows in, you can see in the frame here, he's got his elbows to his side. And by doing that, he's keeping himself from being able to base up. And that's what's going to earn him a stall call if he continues to do it. He's got to get his arms out front and start making an attempt to get up to his knees. But when he puts his arms up to the front, that's when they get tied up with chicken wings and bar arms. That's exactly what's happened here as Easton Schmidt now grabs another chicken wing. He's running towards the head. Look for him to try to scoop that head and he's got the far arm scooped as well. Daniel Allen able to get out and able to keep from getting turned. Caught the bar arm again. Schmidt's got another bar arm. He's got the chicken wing pulled back up, and now he's trying to stuff the head and pull him over in a stack. Still not able to. Daniel Allen doing a good job not getting turned, just not able to get out. Score should be 5-0. There was a takedown in the first. There was a reversal in the second. Both by Easton Schmidt of Tuttle. It's going to be Daniel Allen's choice, and he's going to choose neutral and go try his hand here. Seemed to have more success here than he did on bottom. So coaches thought maybe they'll put him up here and see if he can go get a takedown. Remember, Easton Schmidt in the first had a nice takedown, hit an outside single to his right side. See if he goes back to the well and tries it again, or if he goes for something else. There's that single leg on the right side. Allen's got his ankles this time. He's got to keep those on his butt, and he's got to keep those ankles on his bottom and try to pull him to his head. That'll get him stuck where he's at. Instead, he goes to lift. Referee figured there was nothing going on there, calls the stalemate. And they go back to the center. Schmidt again fakes for that right side outside single. I guess the swing single to the outside. He's hit it twice now. You can see he's setting it up again. He's trying to pull the arm across. Allen really, he stands sideways and leads that leg in a very tempting position. Now he's squared up. Makes it harder. You can see there he's squared up, and this time Schmidt went to reach, and it wasn't there the last two times. Daniel Allen was sort of standing sideways, which really, really led that left leg. There he's doing it again. But now he shoots a shot of his own, goes in for a double leg. Now he's got to drive. He jams him over. Did a good job jamming there, but Easton Schmidt able to scramble through that and find his way back on top. And he picks up 3 more points for the takedown. That's going to put him up 8-0 as he's in major decision territory now. 8 points or more. If you win by 8 points or more, you earn your team 4 points. So anytime you can rack up more points, that last takedown there earned his team 4 more points. Not sure what the score of the duel is thus far, but Tuttle's going to pick up a win here. As Easton Schmidt at 140 pounds defeats Daniel Allen of Guthrie. Moving up to 155 pounds. Guthrie is going to wrestle Guthrie's wrestling Trevor Graves, going to take on George Stewart of Tuttle. Both these boys look a little older. I know Trevor's a freshman. 9th grade is still considered junior high in the state of Oklahoma, so freshmen wrestle for the junior high team when needed. And in this case, looks like that's what's happening here. George Stewart gets off to an early takedown. Picks up 3 points for Tuttle. And now he gets to work here on that barbed wire. We've seen that out of when we were watching the girls' side, and we saw it a little bit here from the junior high already. They go for that cross arm. They catch it, run to the head, tying up the arms in what's known as a barbed wire. And that's going to do it for Tuttle. George Stewart pins Trevor Graves of Guthrie in the first period. Gets to work early, gets it taken care of. We'll bump up to 170 pounds. As Dane Henson for the Blue Jays. Looks like this is Zyler Gonzalez. I do apologize. I had the wrong roster. So if you are a Tuttle fan, just call the announcer an idiot. I've got some handwritten sloppy notes here from the coaches, and I'm going by what I've got to work with. I do apologize for that. Dane Henson for the Blue Jays finds himself down 3-0 on his back. Zyler Gonzalez in a pinning combination, but Dane Henson able to roll through here. Get off his back. Looks like he's trying to get around for 2. Gonzalez able to pick up 4 near fall through that exchange. Dane Henson able to get off his back, but not able to escape. Nearly did. Created a nice little scramble there as he came out the backside, but he's going to find himself down 7-0 behind Tuttle's Zyler Gonzalez. Gonzalez here now going to work on top. Henson's got to try to get to his base. We talked about this in the last match, but he's got to try to get his knees underneath him. And crawling forward sometimes is not the best way. Sometimes you got to go backwards to get over top of your knees. But that is easier said than done when you got a hammer like Tyler Gonzalez on top. Looks like he's driving really hard. Dane's back to his knees now, but there's that barbed wire. We saw it in the last match, and we saw it a couple matches before then. They get that cross arm, and they start running towards the head. It twists and ties the arms up, similar to barbed wire wrapped around a fence. And you get stuck on your back, and it is very difficult to get up here. So that's what Tuttle has been doing so far in this junior high matchup. Now we are going to move our attention over to the high school varsity match. We're going to move that camera back over and try to get a shot of what is going on here. We'll get this still camera set up as best we can. Want to give Lindsay Silvas a shout out for helping us out on the camera. Chris Evans riding shotgun tonight, producing and helping with the score clock. We're going to start out at 106 pounds. With the Guthrie Bluejays, Joel Landry gets taken down early by Devin McCarty. Now, to know, Devin McCarty ranked number 7 in 4A. Currently 8-7 is a record for him, or is his record. Joe Landry now stuck on bottom here as Devin McCarty runs this chicken wing. He's pulling it back into a hammerlock now, trying to just pull that arm all the way up, forcing Joel Landry to have to get to his back. And now Joel Landry finds himself in trouble here as they pick up the first fall. That's going to be 6 points for Tuttle to start this duel off. Now, to note, Tuttle, coached by Bobby Williams, currently ranked number 1 in 4A and have been for quite some time. They are coming to town tonight with the intention of picking up a win over a 5A school at 100 and we're bumping up to 120 pounds here. Trying to keep up. These duels are rocking them out faster than I can keep up. I do apologize. But we, at 113 pounds, skip that match. And now our wrestling Cooper Jackson for Tuttle is taking on Caden Herendine of Guthrie. Cooper Jackson currently ranked number 1 in 4A. Caden Herendine ranked number 2 in 5A. Like I said, this Tuttle roster is loaded with ranked opponents. They've got 12 wrestlers ranked in the top 10, and they've got 9 wrestlers ranked in the top 5. In 4A, Tuttle is a powerhouse, and they've come to town tonight. Guthrie's going to try their hand to make something happen here. All right, folks, we are back in action at 132 pounds. Still fighting technical difficulties. I want to apologize for that. We try to do our best to bring a great broadcast, but we have not had much luck inside the junior high tonight, so I want to apologize to everyone at home. But we are fighting through and trying to bring you a matchup here at 132 pounds. Guthrie's Matt Mahalik is taking on Chance Fisher of Tuttle.
Need to reconnect internet. Okay, maybe she's trying to fight for bandwidth.
Going to work here now. Matt Mahalik has the inside ties. Wrestling against Chance Fisher. Chance Fisher ranked number 1 in 4A. Two-time state placer. He's a state finalist. He placed at Gary Mid-America Nationals, and he was a finalist at the Fall Brawl all this season. Chance Fisher. No easy out here for Matt Mahalik. As Matt tried to hit a double leg there, missed. Now he does a block sprawl. He goes behind. Fisher able to keep a hold of the arm. Matt Mahalik is behind, but he's super high here. Bit of a scrambling position. Mahalik trying to get back on top, but Fisher coming out the back door, and he picks up 3 points for the takedown. It was a very exciting little scramble there. Fisher did a good job of just keeping that deep elbow, and right at the whistle picked up 3 points. And that's going to put him up 6-1. Choice is going to go to Fisher. He's going to pick bottom. Matt Mahalik of Guthrie's going to go on top as we start the second period here in Guthrie at the Junior High Gymnasium. Whistle start move here by Fisher. Mahalik gets on top, tries to put a leg in, hops out. Now he's got to try to return him. Fisher doing a good job getting hand control, and Matt Mahalik drops behind and gets Fisher back to the mat. And now Mahalik trying for this half. He's got one leg in. He's off to the side, though. He's fallen out of the saddle, and as he climbs back on top with both legs, finds himself super duper high. And Fisher trying to crawl back out the back door, similar to where he scored that takedown earlier, but Matt Mahalik, he's clinging on here and able to settle back down on the hips. Looks like he's going to have Fisher bellied out, and he's going to go to work here on top with the half. Mahalik did a good job of recovering from what was bad position, and now he's got this elbow super high, and he's trying to dig in this half. He's going to have to keep picking his elbow up higher, and Fisher able to get his arm back. And now Mahalik gets into bar arms. He's got his legs out, and Fisher pancaked out, but now able to base back up as he's crawling up. We're down under a minute now in the first. Fisher still unable to get out, and Matt Mahalik goes for this lazy ride, walks himself right into a switch. And that's going to be a 2-point reversal for Fisher, going to put him up 8-1. One of the risks of that lazy ride is that if the bottom guy knows how to just set through, we saw it last night. A couple guys did it from Blackwell to us, and then Tuttle was able to do the same thing here on Matt Mahalik. And now Fisher trying to do this roll through tilt. He's got the arm caught, but if you look there, Matt Mahalik's got that left leg posted, and that's keeping that roll from happening. However, if Fisher goes the other way, there's a chance he could tilt it on that side. There's the roll through, and he's able to pop through and pick up near fall here. We're running short on time, but he got all 4 points for the near fall, and that's going to put him up 12-1 over Matt Mahalik as we go into the third period. This is bonus point territory now, as Tuttle will have a major decision at this point. As Mahalik's choice, he's going to go back on top. Seems like that's where he had his best luck. Coach Jaden Davenport thought we'll put him back up there and see if we can get a turn here. As Fisher now goes for the inside leg stand-up, gets to his feet carefully. Matt Mahalik trying to twist down for to get him back to the takedown. But again, Mahalik's high. He's got those bottom feet hooked. If you look there in the camera, he's got his bottom toes hooked underneath the feet. That kept him from falling off the front. Little jiu-jitsu trick, I feel. Fisher now back to his feet. Working here. Mahalik's trying to get him back to the mat. Going to be potentially dangerous. And they're going to stop that match. Referee giving a bit of a verbal warning here, just saying, hey, if you do that again, I'm going to call you for stalling. But it was a bit of a awkward position there. Standing switch on the whistle by Fisher. And that's going to be too much for Matt Mahalik to chase. As Fisher did a nice job there on the whistle. Mahalik got too long on those standing switches. When your arms get away from your body, it's hard to follow up. It's hard to keep going when there's that much pressure. Now Fisher's got this chicken wing hooked up, and it's tight. He's got the far arm. He's got the chicken wing, and he's able to put Matt Mahalik away for the fall. That's going to be 6 more points for Tuttle as they get out to a strong 18-3 lead in this duel as we move up to 138 pounds. Bodie Wilson of Tuttle is going to take on Luke Lyons of the Blue Jays. Luke Lyons has been a staple in this Guthrie lineup since his freshman year. He's going on a junior now, got a ton of mat time, really having the best year of his career so far. And they're really trying to get himself into a position where he can get a good seat at regionals and make his way to the state tournament. I know Guthrie's going to rely on him for that. And Luke Lyons is definitely one worth relying on. This kid's been tough as nails his entire life and gets better every time he steps on the mat. He's going to be taking on, or he is taking on, Bodie Wilson. And Bodie Wilson currently ranked number 2 in 4A. Bodie was a 2-time state qualifier. He placed at state once. He placed this year at the Geary tournament and also at the Mid-America Nationals. So Bodie Wilson, another tough out for Tuttle as Bodie's in on a single leg here, able to step through and trip and pick up 3 more points. Luke Lyons now finds himself on bottom, getting his arms tied up, more chicken wings here. And now Wilson's got a leg in. He's riding side saddle here. Look for him to reach over and grab the far arm of Luke Lyons. It'll be Luke Lyons' left arm. He's going to have to keep a hold of that if he doesn't want to get too high, which he is pretty high right now, but he'll keep a hold of that arm for an anchor. And he'll try to keep a hold of the ankle, the left ankle of Luke Lyons, and the left arm of Luke Lyons. Luke Lyons has got to stay short, and he's got to keep Bodie Wilson down on this hip to keep that pressure off. But if Bodie's able to pull that arm, he'll dig in a nasty half. That's what he's got right now. There's a ton of pressure on that half as Luke Lyons stuck here underneath Bodie Wilson. Lyons doing a good job fighting. It's 10 seconds to go, and it looks like he's going to stay out of near fall, but I wouldn't say he's out of trouble. Wilson looks like he's savvy here on top with that leg. Riding side saddle. He's going to be dangerous from top. Choice here in the second period is going to go to Tuttle, and they're going to put Bodie Wilson on bottom. Luke Lyons from the Blue Jays is going to hop on top, and we'll start this second period. Luke Lyons on top, trails Bodie Wilson of Tuttle 3-0-3. Wilson does a quick quad pod to a front roll. Creates a scramble. Now he's trying to come out the back door. Luke Lyons able to drop and grab a hold of the far ankles. He's grabbing onto ankles, just trying to get a stalemate here as Wilson's trying to just climb out the back door. He's peeking out the back door, but it's like he's having to climb out as Luke Lyons scrambles here. Really just a battle of who stays the tallest. And Bodie Wilson now able to come out that back door finally. Picks up 2 points for the reversal. That's going to put him up 5-0 over Luke Lyons.
What's up, buddy? How was practice?
Bodie Wilson likes to run that leg. Luke Lyons, though, doing a good job keeping it out, digging it out. Now he works to his feet. Luke here trying to peel hands. Bodie Wilson drops down to the single leg. And Lyons now drops over top. Bodie Wilson technically is still on top, still in control. Luke Lyons now under a minute. Needs to just try to get away instead of trying to fight this reversal, just needs to get back to his feet and try to get away. A lot of times it's tempting when you're almost out to turn around and try to wrestle there. Best idea when you get to your feet is to just get the clean escape. It's a lot less work. Luke Lyons here now fighting the hands, now gets away and gets his 1 point. We go back to work here on our feet. Lyons in on a shot. And Bodie Wilson blocks, he sprawls, he goes behind. Lyons able to scramble here. And Bodie Wilson picks up 3 more points for that takedown. That's going to put him up 8-1 as he gets close to near fall territory as we approach the third period. Lyons now gets to his feet. A quick escape here would be helpful. It looks like Bodie Wilson's going to hang on as we finish out this second period. Wilson showing why he is ranked number 2. And he's showing why he has been placed in nearly every tournament he goes to. Tough kid from Tuttle. As Luke Lyons finds himself down 8-1, he's going to have to go bottom here. And Bodie Wilson gets on top. Bars the arm, pulls it over to the leg. This is where he's been all night. Luke Lyons now having to fight that leg out as Bodie Wilson goes to work here on top. Again, he's going to work for that half on the far side. Now he's working into sort of Turk territory. He'll try to just pull Luke Lyons over into his lap and pick up near fall. Lyons doing a good job just fighting that off. Seems like he knows what's going on there. Kind of looks like we've got a bit of a scissor or a figure 4 underneath there. Jaden Davenport on the edge over here, yelling at the referee to call that. Bodie Wilson, though, nothing was intentional there. He was just working his legs back and forth. Luke Lyons, though, has got that. He's in a half. His elbow is super high. It's way up over top of his head. I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but he's in a lot of trouble here as Bodie Wilson's been working towards this the whole match. He'll work this over for a tilt, and then eventually he'll try to climb back on top and get the fall. Luke Lyons just limber enough to work his way out, but Bodie Wilson's going to pick up near fall. It's going to be worth 4 when the referee awards it. Down under 30 seconds now to go. Wilson has let go of that hold. That 4 points is awarded now. He's up 12-1. Luke Lyons just stuck down here on bottom. Bodie Wilson just a hammer on top. Super crafty. He rides high. He rides that high, or he rides the that side saddle well. He's got 2 legs in now. And we're going to finish this match here at 138 pounds. Bodie Wilson going to pick up 4 points for his team for the major decision over Guthrie's Luke Lyons. We'll move on to 144 pounds. Where Tuttle's Kylan Uten is going to take on Guthrie's Colton Stevens. Tigers up 22-3 in this duel so far. Definitely looking like they are the number 1 ranked team in 4A, as they are. Just a stacked team as always. Tuttle been a powerhouse forever, and they brought all of that with them tonight for sure. Big double leg here for Uten as he lifts Colton Stevens. No points yet. Stevens able to hang on so far, but he's going to have to try to get his hips back. As he does, Uten now comes right back up, dumps those hips down. Now he steps over. Once he steps over that leg, that's going to be all she wrote. Colton Stevens gives up 3 here, and Cody Uten out to a early lead with 1:20 to go in the first. And he goes to work on that inside bar arm, catches the claw. He's going to go for a tilt here. Stevens able to shut it down. But Tuttle been very effective on top tonight. They get takedowns, but they've been scoring a lot from the top position. And Uten's going to go ahead and let Colton Stevens go and look for another takedown. Catches the low-level single on the right side. Stevens able to get his leg back. But Uten's still hanging on to that inside single, and now he's got it up to his feet, and now he changes off to a double. Stevens using that length nicely. He's going to have to try to get that leg straight and back. Uten fighting hard here. Now he's got his head outside. Colton Stevens able to work his way out of bounds. No score. 33 seconds left to go in the first period. And we get back to work here. Kylan Uten, number 3 ranked in 4A. There's that low-level single again. Colton Stevens reaching with his right arm and stepping heavy with that right foot. Makes a low-level single an easy target to take, and that's what Kylan has done. Keeps catching that far leg, but not able to finish here. 3 times he's been in. 4 times he's been in. He's only finished once. Colton Stevens doing a good job defensively, using that length and using that leverage to make it difficult to be taken down. Interesting call here, but Kylan Uten's going to take an injury time here to start the second period.
Can you try to reload my score so I can go red? Tell me what I got to do.
As we are waiting on this injury time to finish up, he'll have 2 minutes here to burn. As coaches try to figure out what's going on here and work through him, want to thank our gold member sponsor, Topco Cabinets and Countertops, for sponsoring tonight's duel here at the junior high. It's been a busy night, a very busy night. There's been 3 duels for the junior high girls, 3 duels for the junior high boys, 3 duels for the high school girls, and there will be eventually 3 duels for the high school boys as well. It's a lot of wrestling inside of a small gym, and we want to thank Topco Cabinets and Countertops for sponsoring tonight's event and for helping take care of our Guthrie wrestlers. You guys might also notice there is a brand new Blue Jay down on the brand new mat that we recently got. I believe it came in just after Christmas, and this is the first time we've got to roll it out. We had a bunch of sponsors chip in and help us purchase this mat. It's been a long time coming. We've had just a couple of people have been saying we want to help out with a new mat, and we've been sitting on that for a few years, and then we had a couple more people step up this past summer and said, hey, let's go ahead and get this done. And so our community, we want to thank those sponsors who want to remain anonymous. But if you're watching this broadcast, you know who you are, and the Guthrie wrestling team and the Guthrie family want to thank you for helping us out for this contribution. This mat is gorgeous. It's awesome. It's awesome to see new things happening for Guthrie wrestling, and we want to thank everyone for chipping in and helping out with that. And again, our gold member sponsor tonight, sponsoring this duel, Topco Cabinets and Countertop, jumped on board last year to help. They're helping out this year as well, and we want to thank them for everything that they're doing to help keep our Guthrie wrestlers on the mat, healthy, well-fed, and wrestling hard. We are climbing down to the end of this 2-minute drill, the longest 2 minutes of my life. I'm not sure if it's been the longest of Chris's, but seems like we're just counting like rushing back in the Sandlot football days. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. It doesn't seem like a true 2 minutes, but we are working on Kylan Uten. Not sure what's going on with Kylan, but no one seems to be too concerned. There's no blood time here. It's just an injury timeout. Referee's got his hand up on his watch like he's checking something, so perhaps he's keeping an eye on the time for us. Colton Stevens over here, down 3-1 to Tyler's Kylan Uten. And again, not too sure what the issue is or what we've got going on. But Coach Bobby Williams down there with his athlete and alongside Coach Finn. And again, neither one seemed too worried about their athlete. Looks like they're just counting down the clock or waiting for something. Just not sure what they're waiting on. And what's going to be a long night and a long duel. If you guys are tuning in on the Guthrie News page, we want to thank you for being patient with us. It has been a long, hard night up here in the booth as we've fought all kinds of technical difficulties. We're working on our second camera, and it's already been down once. The stream up here has been extremely slow, but we're doing the best we can with what we've got to work with, and we've got some nice equipment up here. But you guys are on our auxiliary camera tonight. And we are doing the best we can. I want to just let you guys know as well, Thursday night we will be in-house in the high school. And the Guthrie Bluejays are going to be taking on the Duncan Demons in a head-to-head duel. It's just going to be the high school boys wrestling. The girls will not wrestle, nor will the junior high. It's just going to be high school boys. That duel is going to start at 6 o'clock p.m., So a 6 o'clock duel. Duncan's going to come to town. It's going to be a little early, and it's going to be a little short, being that Duncan is just going to travel to Guthrie, hit a duel, and then have a tournament. So both Duncan and Guthrie will be traveling to, I say traveling, Duncan will be traveling. Guthrie will just hop over to the Carl Albert tournament, which is on Friday and Saturday. So Duncan's going to come up and get that duel in and then head to Carl Albert and stay in a hotel that night. That's why it's a little bit different format. But again, Thursday night, 6 o'clock, that duel will be inside the Guthrie High School Gymnasium. And if you can't catch that, catch us on the Guthrie News page. We will have a live stream for that. We're back to action here. Second period of this 144-pound matchup. Colton Stevens of the Blue Jays currently trails Kylan Uten of Tuttle 3-1 as Uten now gets a reversal for 2 more points as he gets back to work here in the second period. So just got word down on the mat there is a concussion protocol in place. That's why that took so long. Kylan Uten must have got his bell rung, and they had to go out there and do whatever test they have to do. You have to let it go for a while, apparently, and make sure all his bearings come back, and then they do an eye test. And so we were waiting on concussion protocol. First time I've seen that actually employed on the wrestling mat. So I'm glad they're taking care of the athlete. It was a little confusing, but I guess it makes sense now as to what we were waiting on. So I'm glad we're back to action, but I'm glad Uten is okay as he gets to work on top. He's got that bar arm, and he tried to roll through tilt. Was not successful. Colton Stevens able to build momentum through that tilt and roll back to his base, but definitely stuck on bottom here. As Uten's just sitting on a hip heavy. He's got that underarm caught as well. The referee's asking Colton Stevens to move here. Not sure Stevens can, as Uten's heavy on top. Trying to work those arms. We get down under 20 seconds now in the second. As there's heavy pressure on top from Uten, just working these arms up. Doesn't look like he's going to try to score here at the end of the second. Colton Stevens trying to get back to his base, but doesn't look like he's going to be able to get up and get out. And now we're getting down under 5 seconds. This period will end with Kylan Uten of Tuttle leading 5-1 over Colton Stevens of Guthrie. We'll jump into the third period now. Choice is going to go to Guthrie, and they're going to put Colton Stevens in neutral position. Kylan Uten has been in on 4 attempts on that single leg on his right side, and now he shoots to the other leg, and he catches the single, pushes off to a double, and gets a nice takedown there to start off the third period. That's going to be 3 more points, and that's going to put him up 8-1 over Colton Stevens. Colton's going to have to get to his base here and get to work. Try to find a way to get back on top and see if he can't get some kind of a fall. There's no major decision yet. Kyler Uten's going to have to either let go and score another takedown or possibly get a turn. He's not had much luck turning Colton Stevens, but he has had success in the takedowns. But right now he's got a bar arm, looking for that roll through tilt again. Definitely that's what he's been going for here. Has been through on the roll once, just not able to score. Look for referee to call a stall warning here. But now Coach Bobby Williams looks over at Kyler Newton, said he wants bonus. Let him go. We're going to take him down and see what we can do here. Remember, Colton Stevens, the first period was a handful, real hard to take down. On the sprawl, catches the ankle. He's got to get his head underneath that leg, or he's going to get tilted up here as he does. I believe points were awarded for a takedown. Yeah, 3 points for the takedown. No near fall, but he did swipe his hand once. Colton Stevens now underneath. Anytime a guy cuts a corner like that, you got to pop your head underneath that leg and come out the back door. But Uten was able to scoot his hips around before Colton was able to do that. And that allowed him to pick up those 3 points and get back on top here. It's going to put him up 11-2 as we finish out this match at 144 pounds. And Tuttle is going to pick up 4 more team points with Kylan Uten defeating Colton Stevens 11-2. And we'll bump up now to 150 pounds. Where Tuttle looks like they're going to bring out Bo Hickman. And Guthrie's going to roll out Aiden Harden. Aiden's going to have his hand full tonight. Bo Hickman is a senior, currently ranked number 1 in the state, currently a 3-time state champion. He'll be going for his 4th state title this year. He's a Fargo All-American, Super 32 All-American. He's a high school nationals All-American. Bo Hickman, the best wrestler in the state at 150 pounds. And we are seeing why that is now as he gets off to an early lead with 3 takedowns and now 4. Aiden Harden, just a freshman on his 3rd season, doing what he can here, but Bo Hickman showing why he is one of the best wrestlers currently in the country. 16-0 on the season, and that's going to put him up 17-0 as they put 6 more on the board for Tuttle. And we're going to move on to 157 pounds. 157 pounds for Tuttle is going to be Jackson Stewart. And he's going to be taking on Rowan McComb of the Blue Jays. Early shot here is going to earn Stewart 3 points. Rowan McComb trying to get out of bounds here as he's already got his arms tied up. We see this often. We saw it last night in Blackwell. We're seeing it again here. Tuttle able to tie up the arms of Guthrie, which makes it hard to base up. And when it's hard to base up, you can't get out. And if you stay underneath long enough, you'll get turned. That's kind of the game plan here for Tuttle tonight, as they've been tying up inside bar arms, pulling up chicken wings, and really making havoc on top, making it hard for the Guthrie wrestlers to get out. Rowan McComb doing a nice job here, staying on his feet and moving. If he stays on his knees and moves, then all Stewart can do is chase. And while he's chasing, he's not scoring. But the minute he gets belly down, once his arms get caught and he gets belly down, Stewart's able to start trying to score. But now Rowan's able to get to his feet, and all Stewart can do is chase and hold on. And that's exactly what Rowan needs to keep doing from the bottom position. He's got to stay busy, stay moving. Rowan with a fake now. He's in a front headlock. Stewart, though, able to reach through And Grow, look here, we've got a high flyer. Goes to reshoot, that's a high flyer. He's got this set up tight. This is tight, folks. This will be a huge upset if Rowan can pull this off. He's got the legs caught. That's going to be a pin for Rowan McComb. And at 157 pounds, he knocks off number 8 ranked Jackson Stewart. Big time upset as Stewart was in on a single leg on a high C on the outside. Rowan McComb hits a high flyer out of desperation and pulls off the pin. Exciting change of events there in what's been a pretty straightforward and slow duel. Looking for an exciting match, and that, folks, might have been what the Blue Jays needed. As we go into 165 pounds, Eli Probst of Tuttle is going to be taking on Clayton Carey of the Blue Jays. Clayton had an exciting match last night, down to the wire against Blackwell. Clayton currently ranked. Clayton's currently ranked number 7 in the state in 5A at 165 pounds. And he wrestled like it last night, had a tough opponent, and really came down to the wire. It was a lot of fun inside that Blackwell gym. Here tonight in the junior high gym, Clayton Carey looking to get that win back against Tuttle as they fight for inside control here. Probst in on an outside single now. He's got it elevated. He's trying for this cradle here. He's trying to reach over the head, which would then pull Clayton Carey down into almost like a pinning combo. But Carey able to get his leg back. He fought that off very well. Big time snap there by Probst. Clayton now faking, goes for a long high C. Probst now in on another shot. Came in hard like he wanted it, but not able to get through those hips of Steve. Now look at this. Clayton Carey's in on a shot, and now Probst the one blowing his hips back as he pushes Clayton Carey out of bounds. Looks like we're going to have a good one here, folks. 23 seconds left to go, no score. Both guys getting after it, a lot of action, a lot of offense, and a lot of good defense as well. Carey really trying to get that high C on his left side, shooting with his right arm. He's tried for it a few times. Probst has been shutting him down, but if Carey can get past that lead arm, he might have a shot at getting. You can tell he's feeling it. He's been going for it. Just hadn't quite been able to get past the head-hands defense of Probst. As we end the first period, a lot of excitement, but still 0-0. We'll go into the second period. Choice is going to go to Tuttle. And they're going to put Eli Probst down. Clayton Carey's going to go on top. And we're back to action here. Second period. Scoreless match. Probst gets right to his feet. Gets right to an escape. Earns the first points of the night. And now they get back to action on their feet as Probst shoots Clayton Carey out of bounds. We are back to action here. Heavy inside ties, heavy snaps, big-time shots. Another shot to the left side, high crotch. There it is again. Clayton Carey really going. He's been leaning into that. He hadn't quite committed, but he's been setting that up. Not sure if that's going to lead to something else. Maybe he's just hoping he can catch that far knee. But he shoots Probst out of bounds. And they get back to work here. Second period, Probst up 1-0. There's the high C again. Hasn't got there yet, but he just keeps getting closer. Goes for that far knee pick, not able to get it. Down under 115 now in the second. There's a shot by Probst. Hits the double, comes up with the single on the left side as he's trying to cut the corner and get behind. He's tucking his hip down. This is trouble here for Carey. Carey's going to do his best to get a stalemate. He'd be happy there, but Probst now trying to go back for the head. We saw him do this earlier. And as soon as he did, Clayton was able to get out. Same thing happened again. He goes for the head. Clayton gets out a second time. Clayton now for a single leg on the right side. He's not able to get past that right arm of Probst. That's been what's in his way all night. He tries to post that elbow and go by, but Probst is able to keep that hand in. Now Probst back on that same outside single. Left side, he's got it elevated this time. He goes for the trip. Clayton Carey able to keep the whizzer. He's got the whizzer on the right side, and that's what's making this possible. Almost out of view here on the right, but no points. Clayton Carey did a good job fighting that off, but Probst, he keeps getting closer. He keeps getting that leg, and he keeps getting to almost finishes. As we're down under 20 seconds now. Not sure if either one of these guys will take a risk. Heavy snap. Clayton Carey tries for the go behind. Comes up and goes for a headlock. Not able to get it. For a one-point match, folks, this has been a lot of fun as they finish out the first and second period under fire. This has been a good one. And Probst down on a single to finish that. We go into the third period. Choice is going to go to Guthrie. Clayton Carey chooses bottom. He's down by 1 point to an escape by Probst. And now Clayton Carey right to his feet on the whistle as he peels hands and gets away. Currently score is tied 1-1. Third period. Look for something big to happen here. Somebody's got to score. Somebody's going to have to take a risk. And that means someone's going to earn a reward. Should be a lot of fun here. Both guys, a lot of action, a lot of attacks going into this point of the match. And Carey now working the edge here, trying to push, shoots for that outside. He's got the high C. It's the one he's been going for. Probst, though, cutting the corner hard. Now he's got the head in the hole, trying to lock up this cradle. If he locks it up, he'll get two. He's got it locked, but Clayton Carey able to wrestle out. And we get out of bounds. Wow. Probst running out of gas here. Minute and 17 to go. And Clayton Carey's going to keep coming. Third period is where he likes to wrestle. Still going for that high C, still pushing here. Snap down. He's trying to snap down and go behind. Has not been able to yet, but Carey pushing. He's going to have to be careful. He wants that takedown, but he doesn't want to overdo it because Probst is dangerous from this position. He's been on a couple of shots. He's got a good snap down. There's a snap down to a double leg. He's got the single. Head inside single. He's been here several times. Hadn't been able to finish yet. Clayton Carey with a heavy shin whizzer. Going to be happy to pick up a stalemate, but now Probst gets to his feet. He's got that shot to his feet. And Clayton Carey able to get his leg back. Big time headlock. Holy smokes. Probst hits a headlock. Looked like he had Clayton Carey dead to rights. Clayton Carey pops his head out. And holy cow, able to pick up the three-point takedown. And that's going to put him up 4-1 in what's been the funnest match of the night. And we're down under 20 seconds, and Clayton Carey riding tough on top. Doesn't look like Eli Probst is going to get out here. And we get down under 10 seconds, and this has been a good one. Probst trying for that Granby roll in desperation. Not able to pull it up. And Guthrie's going to pick up 3 points here thanks to Clayton Carey's third period takedown. Nearly caused trouble was Eli Probst, but Clayton Carey able to squeak out the back door and able to pick up a win for the Blue Jays. And as we move on to 175 pounds, Tuttle's going to wrestle Maddox Witt. And he's going to take on Guthrie's Bryson Hall. Bryson in on an early high crotch. As Witt's trying to get a stalemate here. He's got this hip locked down. Bryson's got to continue to climb. As he does, he picks up 3 points. And that's going to put him out to an early lead here in this 175-pound matchup. Minute and 30 to go. Bryson Hall going to work on top. He's got that lazy ride. That's when he hooks the ankle in the back and tries to elevate. And now going for work on bar arms. Now he's got that chicken wing. A lot of what we've seen Tuttle doing on top. Bryson Hall now for Guthrie is giving that back, doing the same. He's got this chicken wing. He's got the bar arm. And now he's going to try to run this forward. He's going to try to pull and tilt and pick up some near fall. He's got the tilt, and now he's getting the counts. Referee counts to 4. That's going to be worth 4 points. And that's going to put Bryson Hall up 7-0 as we're under 45 seconds now here in the first period. Hall now with a cross face, trying to grab that far arm. He will do a barbed wire if he can catch that. And if you try to stop it, he'll come back with a chicken wing. Gets up high now on this lazy ride, trying to get that cross face. He's pushing the elbow, and that's going to help push the elbow into the other hand where he can grab the tricep and pull it over. He's grabbing the face now, going to try to pull it over into Turk. He's got legs in, and he's got a Turk. But Maddox Witt able to stop that, able to just be heavy and keep his hips down, not get turned up. But now Bryson Hall comes up with a hammerlock. Probably not going to have enough time to score here with it, but he's going to maybe get a couple if he can. He's down under 5 seconds. Going to try to run this half. Not able to score with it, but he finishes the first period up 7-0 over Maddox Witt. Choice in the second period is going to go to Guthrie. Bryson Hall is going to choose bottom, where he has been super effective all year. Does a sit out and tries to turn in. Normally just quad pods and stands up. Maddox Witt wrestling tough here on top. Got a heavy spiral ride. There's that inside leg stand up. And this is typically the way Bryson Hall gets out. He'll peel hands and face and pick up another point. That's going to put him up 8-0. Goes straight for that high C that he scored with earlier. Steps over, hooks the leg, pops the head out. Textbook high crotch finish here. High crotch crackdown finish. That's going to be 3 points. Bryson Hall now in major decision territory. Looking for bonus points for his team. This here, if he picks up 4, will be a tech fall, and that's going to be 5 points awarded to the Blue Jays because of the tech fall of Bryson Hall. And that's going to put some much-needed points on the board for the Blue Jays as we move into the 190-pound weight class. Where Sean Ronzeval is taking on Roston Usselton of the Blue Jays. Sean Ronzeval is ranked number 1 in 4A. Two-time state finalist, a Fargo All-American, also a Greco national champion. So look for Sean Ronzeval in tie-ups to be super dangerous, which could be interesting because that's where Roston Usselton tends to have success, is in that upper body wrestling. And perhaps we should see some fun here. Early takedown, pass by, go behind by Ronzeval. And he goes to work here on top, running bar arms like we've seen all night. He's got a chicken wing on the far side, got a chicken wing on the near side, half on the far side, and now he's got bar arms. Roston building up, builds his base, gets to his feet, and we get to a potentially dangerous call. And Sean Ronzeval, also a 4-year starter on the football team. We've seen him on Friday nights and now Tuesday night. As he works here, he's got legs in, going for a big-time power half on the far side. Riding high thigh, but he's a little bit loose on the hip. And now he's going for a spladle here as he rolls through. Roston able to kick out. Roston's got a lot of power in those legs. And fortunately for him, was able to kick out of that spladle and still not give up any near fall. Roston just battling to his feet from legs, and there's that spladle a second time. And now Ronzeval is he's going to try to pull that knee towards his head. It's not typically a pinning combination, a spladle, but it is a near fall situation, and that's where he picked up 4 more points for the near fall. That's going to put him up 7-0. To note, Roston Usselton in 5A is ranked number 3, and so we've got 2 ranked opponents here hooking it up as Sean Ronzeval is going to finish the first period up 7-0 over Guthrie's Roston Usselton. Choice in the second period is going to go to Tuttle. And Tuttle's going to choose bottom. Roundsonville goes down. Roston Usselton goes top. And now Roston's got to get to work on top and try to get some points back on the board. Roundsonville does an outside post stand-up. Looks like he's trying to do a roll here, like a little Peterson roll. He sits out, he turns in and grabs the wrist. That means he's trying to get crafty with some type of a roll, maybe a Peterson, maybe just the old school fat man roll, something. He's not really trying to stand up. Now he does. Now he gets to his feet. Roston's got to try to get a return here. Going for a big lift. Now he's trying for a big sit-out switch. He's sitting out here and able to cut back and get out for one. That's going to put him up 8-0. Roundsonville now. Roston with an underhook. Wrestling here. Coming out of that underhook. Drops for that outside single. Does a nice job there. Catches Roston. Able to come up with another three-point takedown, and now he gets right back to that spladle. Gets a leg in, hooks up that spladle. He'll try to push Roston down and kind of chomp his own arm in, and that's going to get Roston's ankle by his butt, and then he'll be able to roll that spladle. Instead, he goes for the far arm, and he's going to go for this grapevine here, get his arm underneath. As he leans back, it's going to force Roston to have to go forward. But the referee right on top of it, because this could also turn potentially dangerous real quick. And that's exactly what happens here. The referee doesn't like what he sees, and he's going to stop that match before anyone gets hurt. Roston's got to go back on bottom, and Sean Roundsonville is going to be back on top. Currently up 11-0. We're down under 37 seconds in the second period. Roston Usselton of Guthrie's on bottom. Sean Roundsonville of Tuttle is on top. Again, this is a number 1 ranked wrestler. Two-time finalist, a Fargo All-American, national champion. This kid can wrestle. But Roston Usselton, no slouch himself. As we get down under 15 seconds here in the second period. Looks like both these athletes are just going to ride it out. And we're down under 5 seconds now. Roston getting his arm tied up. And Roundsonville happy to hang on here to finish out the second. Choice is going to go to Usselton of Guthrie. Coach Jaden and Jeremy Davenport both signal neutral. They're going to try to go to their feet and see if Roston can have some success here. Been tough on bottom. Wasn't able to score on top, perhaps on his feet. He'll be able to make something happen. We've seen Roston do big things from his feet. And I think the coaches feel most confident that he's going to be able to do something from here. So they put him up on top. He's going to have to protect that left leg. As he steps and reaches, Roundsonville saw that coming and walks right into it. And picks up 3 more. Roundsonville up 14 points, and look for him to try to score near fall or just get one more takedown and get the tech fall. And again, same shot. He's done it 3 or 4 times. Roston steps heavy and reaches with the same arm. And Roundsonville disappears underneath, grabs the leg, picks up 3 more points for the takedown, and gets the near fall. Moving on now to 215 pounds. Tuttle's going to wrestle Adrian Aveler, and Guthrie's going to wrestle Wyatt Silvis. Aveler placed at the Geary tournament a few weeks ago as he gets a shot in on Silvis. Silvis heavy on the hip. He's got to stay parallel, not fall to his hip. As Aveler is trying to crack it down, Silvis trying to be heavy and strong with that leg. He's got to get it back straight, and Aveler able to pop his head out to the side and come out the back door. 3 points for the takedown as Silvis now on bottom, going to have to get back to his base and get back to work as Aveler comes in heavy with the crossface. Silvis able to base up to his knees. He's going to have to stay busy and keep threatening. We talked about this earlier. If the bottom guy doesn't move, he just becomes a target. So he's got to keep moving. He gets up to his feet. That's what he's supposed to do. Aveler now big on the tie, or I'm here on the half. Silvis not able to post. And now he catches himself. Now he's caught here on his back. Not in good shape. That's a deep half by Avalier. And he picks up the fall. That's 6 more points for Tuttle. As we move on to 285 pounds. Looks like Sir William Morgan is going to be wrestling for the Blue Jays. Going to take on Tyrus Bradley of Tuttle. As the big boys go. Big, heavy, ear-to-ear collar ties. As they battle for that inside position, Bradley trying to get control on the inside. Sir Will coming to us about 4 weeks late, right before Christmas. He showed up for the first tournament. Our football team made the state finals, would put them about 4 weeks behind on wrestling. But definitely worth it if you're going to go all the way to the state finals, that's for sure. Sir William was all part of that football team, so he got to play on Friday nights and finally got back on the mats right before Christmas. And so he's just getting his bearings greased up as he hits his first duel of the second semester. And Tyrus Bradley currently ranked number 7 in 4A for Tuttle. And he was a finalist at the knockout tournament as well as a placer at the Geary tournament this year. As the big boys battle for these hard positions, Bradley on a deep high crotch. Not often done by big boys, but Bradley able to get that high C. And Sir Will fighting this thing off, and Bradley able to cut the corner and pick up the takedown. That's going to be 3 points for Bradley. Nicely done with a high C. Sir Will did a good job putting his weight down, trying to fight that off, but Bradley finally able to cut the corner and force Sir Will to his hands and pick up the takedown. Ten seconds left to go here in the first period. Looks like we're just going to finish things up here as they stand. As Tyrus Bradley of Tuttle leads Sir William Morgan of Guthrie 3 points to 0. Second period choice is going to go to Tuttle, and Bradley's going to go on bottom. Morgan on top for the Blue Jays, and we're back to action here. Morgan doing a good job now. Inside ties, heavy snaps. He's going to need to keep those inside ties and keep those heavy snaps and maybe try to get Bradley underneath him without Bradley having a hold of his leg. But Bradley did a good job setting up a high C in that first period. I'd look for him to do something similar here as he got that big escape, and he's already got a big takedown. Sir Will's going to have to try to get some offense going here and get some points on the board himself. Bradley with a pass by. Does a little arm pass by into a body lock. Sir Will trying for the headlock. And Bradley able to hold on to that body lock and get behind and shuck Sir Will to his back. Now he's got a half Nelson, and he's got this rolled over. This is not good for Sir Will. As Bradley picks up the fall, that's going to be 6 more points for Tuttle. And that's going to conclude this duel for the evening. The Tuttle Tigers victorious over the Guthrie Bluejays 49-17. And I shall digress. I believe we've got one more match. Not sure if this is exhibition, but I know we did start the duel with Uriah Sisk. And now we are going to Joel Landry versus Devin McCarty. This is a 106-pound match, so maybe we are starting with 112, ending with 106, or perhaps this is just a exhibition. But we're going to call this thing and score it like it's part of the duel. Devin McCarty out to a 3-point lead with that first takedown. Gets to work on top with that bar arm. And he's working that chicken wing like we've seen Tuttle doing. Siska's got to try to find a way to get to his knees and get to his feet in order to keep from getting tilted and turned up here. Devin McCarty currently ranked number 7 in 4A. And Joel Landry just cracked the top 10 as he is ranked number 10 in 5A. Had a couple big wins at the Duncan tournament right before Christmas. And that earned him a spot in the top 10 in 5A. Got a couple ranked opponents here. This should be a fun one. But right now, it has been all McCarty with the takedown. And now he's working hard on these bar arms and chicken wings. Got a chicken wing now on the far side. About 20 seconds to go trying to work it. He's got the half on the outside. Chicken wing on the inside. As Joel Landry's fighting here hard. Just trying to stay centered is all he's trying to do. If he goes too far one way, gives up the half. Goes too far the other way, gives up the chicken wing. He's trying to just stay teetered in between those two. Sort of riding the fence on just staying out of trouble. And Joel Landry able to avoid any near fall as we end the period 3-0. Devin McCarty up against Guthrie's Joel Landry. Choice is going to go to Devin McCarty of Tuttle. He goes bottom, Joel Landry on top. We start the second period. As Landry now with a big cross face on top. Able to get him broke back down. He's going to work on top here. Got the bar arm. He's trying to grab it with his forearm. Not able to get it. As McCarty now trying to work back to his feet. Not willing to go to his belly. Does a good job staying to his knees. And now he's trying to reach back for a sit-out. And Joel Landry clinging on top, doing what he can here, trying to hold him down. Able to get him back down a second time. That's a good job by Landry. And Devin McCarty, though, right back to his feet. Landry does a great job dropping to that leg for the single. And now McCarty's got his wrist, a little bit of an odd position for both guys. Landry's got a leg, and McCarty's got a hand. Able to grab the wrist and get up and get an escape. And now Landry in on a shot. He missed essentially, but then was able to follow back up. He's got the leg, but now McCarty trying to get around behind. Referee wanting to signal for 2, and now wanting to signal for 3, and finally McCarty able to get behind and pick up 3 more points. That's going to put him up 7-0 over Joel Landry of the Blue Jays. He had a takedown in the first, an escape in the second, and then just followed that up with another takedown for a total of 7 points. And Joel Landry stuck again on bottom with 30 seconds to go in the second period. Going to have to find a way to get to his knees so he can get to his base, so that he can get to his feet and get out of there. But right now, McCarty just shutting all of that down, tying up the arms, keeping the hips down, not allowing Joel Landry a place to go. And now he's looking like he's fixing to turn him, but he's going to run out of time here with 3 seconds left to go. Choice is going to go to Joel Landry, and Guthrie's going to have a decision here to make. Where can they have the best chance of scoring points or ending up with Devin McCarty on his back? Coaches choose neutral. Joel Landry's going to go back on his feet. He did get in on the leg in that second period. Was able to make something happen anyway. Trying in on another single leg, but McCarty able to get his hips back. Looks like he's going to try to circle to his right with that cross face and dump Joel Landry to a hip so that he can get around behind. That's exactly what happens here. Kind of crowds in, dumps him over that leg, and able to pick up the takedown. 100 minute and 30 seconds left to go in this match. Third period. Devin McCarty leads Joel Landry of Guthrie 10-0. With 3 takedowns and an escape, and now he's back to work on this chicken wing on top. Has yet to score on top, but has definitely been dominant from this position as well. As Joel Landry trying hard to fight off this chicken wing in half. Again, it's a dual combo, and now McCarty's looking to pull him back into a snapback, forcing Joel Landry to go back to his belly. And there's the chicken wing now. He's able to run it out. And there's the near fall he's been looking for. Been fighting this position the entire match. And able to run that chicken wing over and pick up the fall. Going to be 6 more points for Tuttle. And now the final score of this duel, 55 points for the Tuttle Tigers against the Guthrie Bluejays, 17. That's going to put the Tigers victorious over the Guthrie Bluejays. Folks, I'm going to take a short break here, and we will come back and wrestle Guthrie versus Elgin. I'm going to take a short break. We'll leave it on, I'm sorry, not Elgin, El Reno. I'm going to take a short break here, and when these guys get done warming up, we'll come back to the live action. Make sure I grab the right slip of paper. I only have 1,000 pieces of paper. What happened? Oh, my bad. Sorry. Apologize for the delay, folks. Took a short break, and they kicked this duel off quickly without us. Apparently, they don't need our permission to start the duel, nor should they. Caden Herendeen off to a stellar lead here, 14-1 currently over Cooper Cable of El Reno. Start this duel off with a pin. 22 seconds left to go. Number 2 ranked Caden Herendeen for the Blue Jays picks up the fall. And we're going to jump on to 126 pounds. And I'm just going to call Hollis Gore, the wrestler for El Reno, going to be taken on Aiden Smith of the Blue Jays. Gore in on a single leg here. Not quite got it. Aiden Smith able to block that off. He goes in now for inside ties. These boys getting after it tonight. As they wrestle here on the edge, Gore's going to circle back in. Aiden Smith now with a wrist control. These guys banging hard, wrestling hard. Shoots from far away, catches the ankle. Aiden Smith staying heavy, trying to get his leg straight. He's able to get that leg out. And now wrestling here that it's front headlock. And now Aiden Smith with a takedown. He's got a half here on the outside. He's rolling this in. This is tight. And Aiden Smith picks up the fall for the Blue Jays. And that's going to be 6 points more for the Blue Jays, currently up 12-0 in this 5A matchup. Big implications here in this duel, as El Reno and Guthrie are both 5A teams. So these matches not only count for the duel, they count for seeding, for regionals, for all kinds of good stuff in postseason. As we move on to 132 pounds. And Diesel Baker is going to be taking on Matt Mahalik. Diesel Baker of El Reno, Matt Mahalik of Guthrie. Diesel shoots in on an outside single. Mahalik able to get his leg back, and they get back to action in the middle. Diesel currently ranked number 8 in 5A. Little dresser, not even a dresser dump, just he hit like a short carry fireman's, but he went for the ankle instead of the thigh, and now he's got it up at the knee. Matt Mahalik able to roll through, and Mahalik now got Baker bellied out. He's got to get his right leg straight so that Baker can't pull himself back up. If his knee stays bent, Baker's going to be able to base back up, and now Mahalik with an inside cradle. He's got this inside cradle locked up. He's got to sit through. Now he's got 3 points for the takedown, and he's getting near fall. He got 1 count. There's multiple counts. This is going to be a big upset if Matt Mahalik's able to pick up the fall here, as Diesel Baker's ranked number 8 and Mahalik is not ranked yet. This will be a big deal here for Matt Mahalik if he can pull this off. Diesel Baker fighting tough underneath, trying to get off his back. He broke the cradle, but Mahalik able to hold him on his back and pick up the pin for the Blue Jays. That's going to be 6 more points, and Matt Mahalik makes a statement here for the Blue Jays in 5A. Moving up to 138 pounds after an exciting opening few rounds. Matthew Schneider is wrestling for El Reno, and he's taking on Luke Lyons of the Blue Jays. Big underhooks here by Snyder. Lyons trying to stay heavy on his hips. Snyder transitions to a snap down and able to cut the corner and get that head inside single. Now he's coming up tall with it. Luke Lyons able to stomp that foot down and get his leg back. And folks, I think we've got another exciting match on our hands. as we've had some back and forth action just in the first 40 seconds of this match. There's a big-time shot there. Double leg attempt by by Schneider. Lions able to stop that one. This time, Schneider in deep on a single leg. Head inside. He elevates out the back door. Luke Lyons trying to hang on to these ankles as Schneider tries to work his way out the back door. Lions pulling these ankles, really trying hard to just wrap things up. And now Luke Lyons able to get his hips tall. He gets on top. Nose changing, nothing yet. And now back to the same position. Matthew Schneider ends up on top. Able to get behind and pick up 3 points for the takedown. A lot of action and a lot going on there for that points. Jaden Davenport here for the Blue Jays, going to have a conversation with the official here on the bottom right corner, just trying to discuss what he saw. Just a little side note, coaches are not able to question the opinions of the ref. They're only allowed to question rulings. So if Jaden were to question a decision the referee made or a judgment call, he would lose a team point. So he has to be careful questions that he asks. Those questions have to be directed towards what are the rules? And, okay, this is the rule. What did you see? Did you see that rule happen? Okay, I guess it is. But if there is a rule in question, the coaches can question a rule, and then the application of the rule is left up to the referee. So that's what was being discussed there. Jaden Davenport had a conversation with the referee. Luke Lyons ends up on bottom still, and now he's trying to work his way out. Again, if Luke would just get one and not work this scramble, Schneider's going to be happy to just hang on here and keep this action stalled. Luke Lyons he's just got to try to get away. He needs a way so he can get back in. But just spaghetti and noodles here. These guys are wrapping each other up. A lot of fun here in that first period. Choice goes to El Reno. They defer, so therefore Luke Lyons gets his choice for the second period. He's going to go bottom. Matthew Schneider on top leads Luke Lyons 3-0. Lyons now rolls through. Has both of these athletes very crafty and happy to scramble. Schneider riding tough here on top as Luke Lyons now gets to his feet. Now peels hands, trying to get out, and they get out of bounds. Schneider's going to go back up. Schneider's going to come in back on top. And Luke Lyons down on bottom. Still has 1 minute and 37 seconds to go to try to get off bottom. And Matthew Schneider trying to keep him down as he does a nice job with a little back heel trip. Luke Lyons was nearly out. Back heel trip. Luke Lyons with the reversal. Pops out the side. Got his leg still caught inside, but that is a side headlock position. Now Schneider reaches back and grabs that head and puts Luke Lyons in trouble. Luke Lyons way too high here, and Schneider able to pull that up. Luke Lyons just was not aware that he was in danger. Walked right into that the first time, and the second time spelled doom. Matthew Schneider pulls off the pin and gets 6 points for El Reno. And it looks like there will be an unsportsmanlike call. Not sure who that is against. But someone lost a team point. El Reno. Probably from the celebration, I assume. And we're going to move on here to 144 pounds. Where Fox Kurtz of El Reno shoots in deep on a single leg. Same left leg we've seen Colton struggling with. And Fox Kurtz able to get in deep, but Colton doing a good job using his length, using his leverage, using his scrambles to fend off the takedowns. But inevitably, Fox Kurtz able to pull the takedown, and now he's got a Turk locked up as well, and he's getting near fall. Colton Stevens trying to get back to his base. He's got to try to just keep bellying down. Kurtz is going to keep trying to weasel his way on top and get those shoulders down. That Turk, he's got the opposite leg hooked underneath, which basically just keeps Colton Stevens' butt on the mat, which means his back is twisted towards the mat at all times. Very difficult position to wrestle through, but Colton was able to get his leg out. And Kurtz on top now, 7-0 with a takedown and near fall, is getting to work with 40 seconds left to go. Colton Stevens got to try to get to his base and get out of there, but Kurtz wrestling tough on top, working that inside bar, running this half now. Colton doing a good job posting up his right leg. Posting against this, he's got to posture away from that. And if Kurtz keeps running that half, he'll put Colton clear on his feet. That's exactly what happened there. Colton did a great job just posting and allowing that half to raise him. But see, he turns around and faces, and he should have just got away. And now Kurt's able to bring him back down to the mat. So tempting when you get to your feet to turn around and try to wrestle, but when you start on bottom and you turn around and try to wrestle, you have not got an escape yet. It helps the bottom guy when you're on bottom and a guy turns around and reaches. So coaches try to teach when you're on bottom and you get to your feet, you just want to get away. Colton there tempted to turn around and try to score a reversal, was not able to, ended up back on the mat. And we're back to neutral here. Colton chooses neutral in the second. Now he's in on a shot of his own. Nice outside singles, Colton Stevens. He's got to step over that leg and hook it. But Kurtz has his foot caught, and he's not able to do so. Colton's got to stay busy here. He's got to keep working, stay busy, so that Kurtz doesn't get a stalemate. Referee's already counting for stalemate, but Colton's able to come out the back. He's got to keep moving and not able to. Fox Kurtz did a good job shutting down any momentum and picking up a stalemate. But Colton now getting a little confidence. He got in on the left side. Now he's in on the right side. I like what I see out of Colton being aggressive here. And Fox Kurtz has a sort of a cradle inside locked up. An awkward cradle. That's going to force Colton to just let go and post out to try to not give up near fall. He's got it locked up and not sure what to do with it. Cradle, it's like the wrong side leg for the cradle. It's like a cross cradle, if you will, which makes it weird to finish. It makes it weird to score with. It was good for defending that single leg, not so good for scoring near fall. And now he's back in the same Turk position that he scored with on the last takedown. Look for him to try to elevate that right leg and try to get a crossface so that he can score. But Colton able to wiggle that inside leg out. With 30 seconds to go, Colton was able to get to his feet at the end of the last period, and he needs to try to get there again and get one and try to get wiggled loose here and start getting some offense going. We saw he was able to get in on a single leg on the right side, then he got in on a single leg on the left side. He was able to get there. He just needs to continue putting pressure on Fox Kurtz and hopefully find a way to get some points on the board and make something happen. Fox Kurtz here going to end this second period on top 10-0 over Guthrie's Colton Stevens. Guthrie coaches are going to get the call here, going to choose neutral and try their hand in this position where Colton was starting to have success, but there's an underhook to a high crotch as Kurtz is in on another single leg, but Colton doing a good job here fighting. He's heavy here on the whizzer, and he'd be smart to just sit here and pick up the stalemate. Kurtz is going to have to elevate that foot and start making progress, or the referee's going to stop the action as he did. And we are back to work here in the center of the mat. Fox Kurtz in the white is currently winning 10-0, dives in on a single leg. Is now going to try to finish this. Colton Stevens going to try to keep those feet off the mat. If he can keep Kurtz's feet off the mat, Kurtz is going to have trouble finishing. But now Kurtz trying to go out the back door. Not really sure what he wants to do with that. Now Colton's able to get long. If he can get long and get low, he can get out of this. Kurtz holding on to that kind of a reverse lock position. Colton will be good just to get a stalemate here. as they go back on their feet. Colton needs to get back on that offense. He had luck with it in the second. There it is again. Shoots in on a double. Able to dump it, able to hook the foot this time. Now Colton's got to get the right leg of Kurtz over his head. He's got to pull that thing over his head and dig his head out and then pop it up into his double leg position. Kurtz doing a great job using his length and locking that crotch and sitting on the head of Colton. Colton got to get his head out from underneath Kurtz. But now he's going to go up, try to get a defensive fall. He forces the fall, which forces Kurtz to make a decision. Do I hang on or do I let it go? He's got points to burn, so he wisely lets it go. And Colton Stevens able to pick up a takedown of his own. Been on three. He's been on two shots, and the third one finally scored. Now coach is on the sidelines over here, getting amped up, trying to get Colton to get Kurtz on his back, trying to run this barbed wire. Kurtz is going to fight hard here with a long post. Colton Stevens trying to force this over here, doing everything he can to try to score. He's trying to put Kurtz on his back. Kurtz fighting hard here as we get a little bit more excitement at the conclusion of this match. Ultimately, Fox Kurtz defeats Colton Stevens 10-3, and that's going to be 3 more points on the board for El Reno. Moving on to 150 pounds. Looks like Hunter Myers is going to be wrestling for Tuttle, and he's going to be taking on Aiden Smith. No, Aiden Harden. Aiden Harden for the Blue Jays at 150 pounds. Big heavy collar tie here by Myers as he goes for a pass by and misses, dives back in on a single leg. Aiden Harden able to use that length. Keep him off. Now Harden down wrestling low, comes back to his feet. Long outside single, gets a low one here. Myers able to come up with this single. He's going to try to shelf and come out the back door. He's got to get his arm out to get the 2. And Harden trying hard to hold on to that whizzer. And now he tries to kick out and get away, but not able to. And Hunter Myers picks up 3 points for the takedown with 1 minute to go in the first period. Myers now going to work on top arms. He's got a half on the far side. Aiden Harden postures well, gets back to his base. Building his base here is what he's supposed to be doing. Now he's going for a long quad pod stand-up. Myers able to break him back down, floats back to the other side. Aiden now belly back down. He's got to try to just keep building up, keep being a threat down there on the bottom. And if he can continue to work himself up, Myers is not going to be able to lock anything up. Myers will have to adjust and ride instead of just hook up and turn. Aiden, you can see his feet down here in the camera wiggling. He's trying to move back and forth. He's posturing, trying to twist back and forth. Now he's getting up to his knees. But Hunter Myers grinding away here on top. Now he's got a chicken wing. It's a loose chicken wing, and Aiden's doing a good job pushing the hips away, which it defends that chicken wing. You can't, if Aiden's pushing with his left arm up against that hip, it makes it hard for Myers to run that around his head. So we end that first period with Hunter Myers winning 3-0 over Aiden Harden. Choice goes to Myers. He goes down. Aiden Harden's on top. Sit out switch on the whistle. That's going to be 2 points for Myers for the reversal. Aiden Harden here holding on to that single leg. He'd be good to crawl away and start building his base now that those points have been awarded. And now Myers back on top. And Aiden Harden basing up here. He's got to keep basing up. And he's got to keep being a threat down there so that Myers is forced to ride. He's running that half. Aiden posts the outside leg. Now he comes to his feet. That's a good job, Aiden Harden. He's got to stay tough here. He's got to keep peeling hands. Gets away. Nicely done by Aiden Harden. Hunter Myers was trying to turn him with that half, and Aiden used that as an opportunity to get to his feet and eventually get out. And now that's going to be the first points on the board for Aiden Smith. Myers in on another long single leg, but he's got his hands locked up around the hips. He's still able to finish this from here. Aiden Harden's got to stay square. He's got to stay strong. He needs to be patient and hopefully pick up a stalemate. If he can't peel that lock, he needs to just sit right here and get the stalemate. But now he's going to walk around the other side, opposite. He's trying to work his way right, but see here, Myers was patient, and he waited, and as Aiden walked around, he was able to load him up on his head and elevate. Aiden Harden had the right idea. He was still trying to score there. Would have been better off just to get the stalemate. Myers still hasn't finished this yet. Aiden Harden's fallen off to the left, able to pick up a stalemate, which was huge for Aiden. A lot of action there. No points were scored. We are back to action here. Second period. Hunter Myers leads Aiden Smith 5-1 as Aiden Smith dives in on a double A here, trying to come up with the single. He's got the single. Myers now going for the switch. He's trying to switch here, that far corner. And now Aiden Harden up trying to get out the back door. Aiden's got to drop down and hook that foot. Myers is trying to go for a scramble here. A lot of good action here at the end of the second period. Aiden Harden nearly scores on Hunter Myers. Down by 4, Aiden Harden's got to get a takedown here if he wants back in this match. He's going to go neutral. Look for him to start attacking. Long, lazy, high C. Didn't really set that one up, but he got in on it. He can keep driving and get those hands locked. He's up around the hip where he needs to be. He's just got to keep moving. He's got to keep moving here. He's transitioned to a single. He stepped over the leg. He's moving. He's just got to keep going. He's climbing the ladder. He's just got to keep going. He's got to get loose. He's got to get loose. He's got to walk around. He's got to get 2. Now he's got to cut him and go for another one. He's only down by 1. Current score is 4-5. He's got a minute and a half to go. Gave the escape, dives back in on, but now Aiden's got to get his head underneath this leg. Myers is cutting the corner, and he's going to step over. Aiden's got to get his head underneath. He's got to get his head underneath that leg. Not knowing what to do here, Aiden's just hanging on. Myers is coming out the back. Aiden's got to get his head underneath that leg if he wants to score here. Myers staying long. Aiden Harden able to pick up the takedown. Big time by Aiden Harden. That's going to put him up 7-6. And now Hunter Myers finds himself down by 1 underneath Aiden Harden. He's got to get out if he wants to tie this. Aiden's got a leg in. He's got to keep pressure on top. And Myers has got to find a way to get to his base so that he can get out. But right now, Harden keeping pressure on. Now, Harden let the pressure up. He's got to get hip pressure back on top. He's got to get hip pressure on. And now Myers is basing up. Myers is basing up with 20 seconds to go. And now he's going back for that switch. He hit that switch in the second and was able to score. Kind of in the splits here. Harden's down under 5 seconds. Myers trying to wrestle here. Looks like we're going to finish here. Aiden Harden come from behind victory. Picks up a late takedown for the win. And that's going to be 3 points for the Blue Jays. Aiden Harden with the win over Hunter Myers. Big time win there against the tough 5A opponent. Aiden Harden with the victory. £157, Trevor Robinson is going to wrestle for Reno, and he's going to take on Rowan McComb of the Blue Jays. Rowan, another one of our football players, Colton Stevens was as well. It's got about a 4-week late start because of the football team having so much success. It was great for our team, great for our program, great for our community. to make that state title. Not so great for the shape of these wrestlers that kind of got thrown into the fire before Christmas, but they have had about 3 weeks now to train and try to get their bearings straight, get their timing back. Rowan, one of those guys who finally getting on the mat, making things happen. He's in on a single leg here as we scramble for a takedown. That's going to be 2 points, 3 points for Rowan McComb. And Trevor Robinson bounces right back to his feet, peels the hands and gets an escape. Bringing the score 3-1 now. Rowan McComb and Guthrie up, does a pass by. Not able to score, but now heavy wrist control here. Hard heavy wrist control by Robertson. He's got heavy control on those wrists, forcing McComb to do something about it. Look for him to try to pull in and use that. McComb now gets the angle. And he's in on a single, trying to stay in back. Just so hard to try to finish. Oh, here we go. There's a cradle on the side. Now Rowan McComb caught in a cradle on the edge. And he's in trouble here, folks. That's tight. That's a tight cradle. As Robinson just shifty on the edge. McComb let up for just a second. And then catches that cradle on the angle. And catches a big-time pin for El Reno. Kind of a surprising out of nowhere. McComb looked like he was in control of that match, and then out of nowhere, Trevor Robinson answered back. We'll move up to 165 pounds, where Cash Reyes is going to be taking on Clayton Carey of the Blue Jays. Carey currently ranked number 7 in 5A. Would be the favorite to win this match, but right now, heavy on the elbow here, looking for a little fireman's carry or a short carry dump. Not able to pull that off. Clayton Carey, super heavy hips. This kid's really strong, really hard to take down if you stay out front. And he showed that there, keeping that short carry from happening. Now, high crotch attempt. He's passing the elbow, trying to shoot to that right side. Clayton Carey all over Cash Reyes right now. Staying in his face, shoot, 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 shoot. Hasn't scored yet. Reyes is going to have to answer back with something here. Ankle pick here. Slick little ankle pick by Clayton Carey. Catches Cash Reyes with his head too close to his feet and was able to pick up 3. Nice takedown, Clayton Carey. That's going to put him out 3-0. With a minute to go in the first, there's a cradle. Reyes kind of walked right into that cradle. Not sure if Clayton's going to be able to finish this just because of the out of bounds. I was talking about the out of bounds right before Rowan McComb got in trouble that last match, and it's interesting because a lot of moves you would do a certain kind of way, you get to the edge and you can't do them because you run out of real estate. So where you would normally push, you end up having to pull. Where you would normally pull, you end up having to push. And so it makes the wrestling a little bit more creative when you're on the edge of the mat because they now allow you to wrestle outside of the out of bounds. So a lot of interesting things are happening there, as you saw in that McComb match. Rowan was trying to keep his feet in, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere, peeks back in for the cradle. So now Clayton Carey on top here, riding tough, using that lazy ride to keep him broke down. Now he's working the inside bar arms. And just grinding things up on top. Got a chicken wing here. Going to be hard to finish a chicken wing or score with an opponent on his knees. Cash Reyes did a good job coming up to his knees. It just loosens everything up. It's not that you can't score when a guy is on his knees. It's just a lot harder to score when the bottom guy is on his knees. And so, anytime there's a chicken wing, a half, legs, anything like that, when a guy is on his knees, it's just harder to score with. When they're on their belly, bellied out, it's actually easier because you put yourself in less danger trying to score. So Reyes did a good job there coming up. Clayton Carey on the whistle pops right to his feet. He's up and out. That's going to put him up 4-0 over Cash Reyes. And now he's in on that single leg again. High C switches off to a double, and that's going to be 3 points for Clayton Carey, putting him up 7-0 with 1:40 to go in the second period. Now he's got a leg in, sort of a turked out leg. Not really using it, just got it to hold the position. Cash Reyes working here on the edge. You can see Clayton Carey trying to pull him back in bounds. And now Reyes works to his knees from that. Working here on top. He's got that leg. Lazy ride. He's pulling it up just to keep Reyes bellied down. Now he's got a chicken wing. But again, being that he's on the edge, normally Clayton would want to run around to the front. But running around to the front is hard to do when you're on the edge and you would be running out of bounds, essentially. So he's trying to make something happen on the other side or maybe try to turn him in bounds. Reyes doing a good job just fighting down here, making it difficult for Clayton to really get a hold of enough to turn him. He's got a half. He's got a chicken wing. Reyes being shifty down here. But now Clayton Carey's running this. He's got the shoulder pinned. Man, Reyes able to stop that. Clayton Carey doing everything right, but Reyes being crafty down there, being shifty, making things hard for Clayton Carey on top as far as scoring goes. They worked themselves out of bounds with 23 seconds left to go in the second period. Clayton Carey from Guthrie on top, up 7-0 over El Reno's Cash Reyes on bottom. Quick break down, catches the far arm. Now he rolls up the barbed wire. Had it and then loosened it up. He's got to put his knee on Reyes' head and push the head. Now Reyes postured way too much, though. But he's going to be able to stop this. He's just going to continue to circle. 3 seconds left to go. Clayton, for whatever reason, had the barbed wire hooked up and then made an adjustment. I don't know if Reyes had shifted something or if Clayton thought he maybe had something else, but he had it, and then he made an adjustment, and then he didn't have it as good. So I'm not sure what happened underneath there. It was hard to see, but probably Reyes doing something crafty, if I am guessing. He did a good job on bottom, just staying off his back. Really made it hard for Clayton to turn him, but going to be Reyes' choice. He chose down. Clayton Carey went ahead and put him up neutral, wants to try to get another takedown. Look for Clayton Carey to look for bonus here as he picks up another high crotch to a double leg and gets 3 more points. Clayton looks up to his coaches to see if he should let him. There's the barbed wire. So he didn't make the adjustment this time, and he was able to keep the hands. And now he's got Reyes in all kinds of trouble. This is tight, and this is trouble. This is a pin for Clayton Carey. That's going to be 6 more points for the Blue Jays. As Clayton Carey picks up the fall over Cash Reyes. We're going to move up to 175 pounds, where El Reno is going to wrestle Theron Davis. And Guthrie's going to wrestle Bryson Hall. Bryson Hall currently ranked number 2 in 5A at 175 pounds. Theron Davis ranked number 5 in 5A at 175 pounds. So these wrestlers both ranked in the state in 5A. Bryson Hall slightly ahead of Theron Davis. Theron Davis would love to pick up a win here and take that second place ranking from Bryson Hall. Bryson Hall would like to put a dominant win on here as he's trying to work himself into a first place ranking, or a number 1 seed ranking anyway. They wrestle out of bounds, no change. Bryson Hall was in on a shot. Theron Davis did a good job keeping Hall from finishing that. Theron Davis, a big 75-pounder. Bryson Hall, not small for the weight by any means, and Theron, quite a bit big, quite a bit bigger size-wise, just taller maybe not as thick, but definitely as tall. Goes through for a big power double, and Bryson Hall this time able to whiz her out of that and keep Theron from scoring. So they've kind of traded attacks, and they've both been in on shots and both stopped shots. Kind of 1-1 here if you're just talking no points scored. Kind of a back and forth with a minute left to go. Long, ill-advised shot by Theron Davis. Bryson Hall happy to snap down and go behind on that one. Picks up 3 points for the takedown. And he goes right to work on top with a lazy ride. He's got the crossface far arm. And now he's got Theron broke down. And he's going to go to work on top here with 35 seconds left to go. Theron's going to have to earn an escape if he wants it, because I doubt Bryson Hall's going to let him go with such short time. Riding that lazy ride, he's hooking that foot. He can put a leg in here if he wants, or he'll just break him back down. Davis, though, struggling just to get loose at all. Bryson Hall staying heavy on top, not letting up, keeping the hips tight, working hard here to keep pressure and finish this match or this period out on top. First period down, 5 seconds left to go. Theron Davis tries one more big move. Bryson Hall's going to finish this one on top, winning 3-0 as we go into the second period. Choice is going to go to green. That's going to be Guthrie, and Guthrie's going to go bottom. And Bryson Hall going to try to get out here. Theron Davis going to need to do something here on top, get himself back in this match. Bryson Hall, inside leg stand up. He's going to try to peel hands here and get to work. As he peels, he'll start to exit. And now he's going to look to score here. He's going to try to get his one, but now he's looking for a reversal. He's got that far leg and the heavy hips. Davis is going to have to let go here. He's going to get called for stalling. Bryson Hall goes ahead and catches this reversal. No points yet, but he stepped over. He's got the crossface. And that's going to be 2 points for the reversal. Bryson Hall now up 5-0 over Theron Davis. Again, Bryson Hall currently ranked number 2 in 5A. Theron Davis currently ranked number 5 in 5A. So this match has a lot of implications. As Davis tries a roll through, Bryson Hall just floats and follows. Able to stay on top and really stay in control here. As Theron Davis struggling to make anything happen on bottom. He's got to just get to his base and start trying to threaten here and get out. Bryson Hall, being that he's ahead, does not have to do anything really. He's got this match in control. He's in command of it. So Theron Davis is going to have to try to get busy and start trying to force some action if he wants to try to win this thing. Bryson Hall, though, tying up the arms. He's got the chicken wing now. He's got the far arm. Bryson Hall's looking to score points here as he's running towards the head. He goes back as Theron Davis does a nice job basing up to his knees. And that's forcing Bryson Hall to have to get back in control of those hips. Hall now back on the hips. 25 seconds left to go. Still has this chicken wing. But Theron staying to his base, which is keeping Bryson Hall honest as he tries to roll through, trying to make something happen here. Just trying to force his way out. Bryson Hall able to catch him. He's got the leg. He's got the Turk. And now he's got near fall. Big time change of events at the end of the second period. Bryson Hall catches Theron Davis on his back in the middle of a scramble to pick up 3 points for the near fall. Can't blame Theron Davis for the scramble. He needed to make something happen. But for his effort, ends up giving up 3 more points to Bryson Hall, who's now up 8-0. This is major decision territory. And like I said earlier, Bryson Hall's ranked number 2 in the state. He wants to be ranked number 1. He feels he's the best kid in the state. Guthrie definitely feels he's the best kid in the state. And you got to go after guys that are ranked, and you got to score big. You got to run the score up if you want to get that ranking higher. And so Bryson Hall is going to continue to look to score. And Theron Davis has got to do something to shut down this offense of Bryson Hall, who's now up 11-0. And he's going to try to keep that inside arm and pull it over his back if he can pick up more near fall. Otherwise, look for Bryson Hall to cut Theron Davis. He's 1 turn away from a tech fall. He's got 11 points. If he can get a 4-point near fall, he'll have a tech fall. That's what he's going to want, or he's going to have to get 2 takedowns. Not sure what coaches are going to want to do here, but I think they are going to try and get him to get some near fall. Theron Davis, though, good enough to not let that happen. And we've got a little blood here. So we're going to do a timeout here. The way blood works in wrestling, you get 5 minutes of blood time. So if you can bleed anything under 5 minutes, they're going to let you continue to wrestle. But if you cannot get the blood to stop within 5 minutes, that's considered too much blood loss, and they will just default the match. It will be an injury default of the match. Rarely, if ever, have I seen that happen. Normally, there is a blood time. Once the blood has stopped, they will stop the time, and then there's however much time necessary to clean everyone up. That doesn't count against anyone. So technically right now they are just working on stopping the blood. Looks like they got it stopped. Looks like they've already got it cleaned up on the outside. Good job by the Guthrie training staff here. Get things cleaned up and back to action. Bryson Hall leading Theron Davis 11-0 with a minute left to go in the match. As Bryson Hall with the head lever. We haven't seen him use this in quite some time, but he's been effective with it in the past. Theron Davis now finding a second win. He's starting to move on bottom like he needs to. Again, Davis has got to try to just make something happen down here on bottom, maybe try to roll through again and catch Bryson in a bad way. Again, it's a tall order against a tough kid like Bryson Hall, but if you're on bottom against a kid like this, you got to make something happen. You got to get a little desperate. So Davis tried to get some scrambles going, but Bryson Hall just shutting that down, staying on that hip heavy, riding that lazy ride. Now Davis, there you go, rolls through, and he's trying for this headlock. Hall was able to pick up a couple near fall in the exchange. But it looks like this is where this match is going to end. 13-0, Bryson Hall picks up 4 points for the major decision for his team. And that's going to do it for this matchup. Number 2 stays in front of number 5 at 175 pounds in 5A. Going to move on to 215 pounds. J.T. Higgins of El Reno is going to be taking on Wyatt Silvis of Guthrie. I'm sorry, I'm jumping ahead. We are at 190 pounds. Where Coleman Eicher is going to be taking on Roston Usselton. Coleman Eicher of El Reno, Roston Usselton of Guthrie. As we wait for the trainer to get out there and finish cleaning up whatever blood was left over from the last match. They need to get that up. That's a brand new wrestling mat. We want to keep that clean. Red stains on the white. Something we got to keep an eye on. But it is nice to see that mat down there getting used. It's beautiful mat. Did a great job putting that together. Tonight is the first night we have seen that used. We got this thing about a week ago. And got it all unrolled, cleaned up, and finally able to use that. 190 pounds, Roston Usselton taking on Coleman Eicher as we get back to action here in this duel where Guthrie is taking on El Reno. It's been a big night of action. A lot of wrestling happened tonight. Roston Usselton takes a high crotch to his right side. And now finds himself in an over and under with Coleman Eicher. Both big boys look big and strong. We're getting into some bigger wrestlers now. Outside single attempt by Eicher. Was there but not able to follow through as Roston Usselton swung back around. Now Usselton's got a big body lock, and he is good here. He'll be patient, and he is good here. Eicher able to keep his hips down, and Usselton able to wrestle him down to the mat. And that's going to be a 3-point takedown for Roston Usselton. Roston Usselton currently ranked number 3 in 5A. Eicher would like to knock him off and take that spot. But Roston Usselton is looking to climb as he gets that takedown early in the first. And now he is going to work with 50 seconds left to go in the first. And Eicher stuck on bottom here. As Roston Usselton grabs the inside bar arm, and he's working for a chicken wing of his own on the outside. Runs the chicken wing now. He's got it hooked up. Eicher he's wrapping up the legs of Usselton, making it hard for Usselton to get out to the side where he wants to be. But now he's out to the side. Now Eicher's pushing on the inside thigh of Usselton. You can see him doing that there. That's how you stop that. Usselton now loads that up on his hip. As he runs to the head, he's got to keep running to the head, trying to get Eicher to fall over to his elbow, maybe over to his shoulder. He's going to keep running with 5 seconds left to go. That's going to be no near fall. And Eicher able to dodge a bullet there as they end the first period. Roston Usselton of Guthrie is up 3-0 over Coleman Eicher of El Reno. Roston gets quick to his feet. He goes down in the second, quick to his feet. Now he's working his way out. Eicher kind of took off there for just a second. And Usselton saw that he kind of delayed and just dives right back in on the legs, gets him a double leg, and now he's got a bear hug from that double leg. He's still inbounds with one of his feet, trying to pick up the fall here on the edge, trying to get the half. Eicher doing a good job of fighting Roston off. Eicher kind of understood where he was and what was coming. He knew Roston was fishing for that half, so he did a good job of just pushing him away and kind of fighting him with that arm, not allowing Roston to get his hand under his arm and over his head. As they wrestle here on the edge now, second period. Minute and 15 to go. Roston Usselton up 11-0 over Colton Eicherton. And now Eicher clamming up on bottom. He's got his elbows in tight. Not threatening from the bottom. And now Roston back with the chicken wing. He got that earlier in the match, but it's going to be tough because Roston is right on the out of bounds line. So it's hard to run that chicken wing when you got to run it out of bounds. So they're wrestling here on the edge, kind of burning the clock down. Referee's going to blow him out of bounds. Eicher of El Reno is going to go back on bottom. Roston Usselton on top, up 11-0 for the Blue Jays. On the whistle, hits a quick sit-out switch. Good idea by Eicherton. He was able to get to his feet, and he was able to get the switch. He just didn't quite complete it. And now he's working his way out. As he does it, he's trying to roll through this cradle. And Usselton able to stay sort of in control on top, but Eicher able to wiggle out the escape towards the end of the period. And that's going to be a quick takedown, go behind for tech fall at the end of the second. Eicher had the right idea, tried to dive in, but Usselton able to block sprawl, go behind for the three, and get the tech fall. Moving on to 215 pounds, J.T. Higgins taking on Wyatt Silvis of Guthrie. Current score of the duel, 36-14. Blue Jays big commanding lead out front now. As we get down to the last two weights, the Blue Jays will seal the deal for this duel. There's no way that El Reno can score enough points to win. But both of these matches, again, like we said earlier, both 5A teams, so both of these matches have implications going into regionals and state and for the rankings. Both these guys heavy on the collar ties. Silva's just a sophomore. And J.T. Higgins ranked number 9 in the state. So Wyatt Silvis in on a nice high C. Got a high C, and he's got a finish here. Nicely done by Wyatt Silvis. Comes from the collar tie, hits a high C, cuts the corner, gets the takedown. And Wyatt Silvis going to work here on the number 9th ranked guy in the state at 215 pounds. Inside tie, he's got that inside bar arm, and he's running a spiral on the side. Got his leg out, hooked, looking for the roll here. Higgins trying that big roll. Silva's able to knock his hip, keep his hips heavy. And now Higgins bellied back out as Silva's going for the half on the far side, going for that power half. He gets back underneath the far arm, gets the bar arm, gets the ankle. And he's running that spiral well. Higgins, though, now for the quad pod, is working himself up to his feet. And now Silvis has got to try to drop him down. Higgins trying to get out of bounds, or trying to get to his feet and get out of bounds. Silvis is going to have to get him to the mat, or he's going to get called for stalling here. Able to get him back to the mat. And now Higgins again, kind of the roly-poly. Higgins is scooting back in bounds, getting crafty. You could see him scooting back in bounds, trying to catch Silvis on his butt. Silvis able to wrestle here. Higgins going for another roll. Look for him to try to roll out of bounds here with 5 seconds left to go. Higgins able to get to his feet as they get out of bounds. Wyatt Silvis leading 3-0 over J.T. Higgins with 2.4 seconds left to go. Look for Higgins to get crafty here. He's been crafty on bottom. Silvis has been able to keep him down as we end the first period. Wyatt Silvis out front 3-0. over JT Higgins. Choice goes to the Blue Jays. They defer. And now El Reno's put Higgins back on bottom. Wyatt Silvas on top here going into the second period. Higgins on bottom. And Silvas with a big-time bar arm chop. Gets him bellied out. And now he's got the inside bar arms grinding tough here. Silvas has got to just continue to grind with those toes and keep pressure on Higgins so that Higgins can't get to his knees. When he gets to his knees, you saw how crafty he was. He was able to quad pod up. He's been hitting rolls left and right. He's very crafty. He even set out and scooted back in. Higgins crafty when he gets to his knees, so Silvas has got to keep him bellied down here. And if he can keep him bellied down, he can keep himself from getting in trouble, and he can also get to work on some near fall. There's a half on the far side. Silvas hooks that up. Just not quite able to keep that elbow high. Higgins just laying on those arms, trying to keep his elbows in. And Silvas really working for that half. He's just got to keep that pressure heavy on top. Higgins now trying to work those hips up. And Silvas has got to try to bar him down. He's got the inside bar arm, and now he's got the hammer lock hooked up on his back. He's got to push that to the floor with his left hand and scoop the head with his right. Higgins able to get his arm out. And Wyatt Silvas goes right back to that inside bar arm as he's keeping pressure. Higgins now gets his hips up and Wyatt pushes back down. Silvas just keeping that grinding pressure on top, making it difficult for Higgins. And now bottom guy Higgins gets called for stalling for just clamming up. Silvas back on the half. And now Higgins is back up to his knees where he needs to be. Silvas has got to get him broke back down to his belly where he had more success. He's got to keep grinding here. And Higgins trying to get the base. He's trying to get these little hip rolls, these little sit-outs. He's trying to get his hands posted so he can quad pod, but Silvas now doing a good job of capturing the inside wrist so Higgins can't post, and that's making it difficult for that quad pod. Silvas made a good adjustment there in the second period and has remained on top this entire time and picked up a stall call. It's going to be 3-0 going into the third period. Wyatt Silvas is in command of this match. It's going to be his choice, and he chooses top. Coach Jaden Davenport happy with what he's seeing in this position. And he puts Silvas back on top. And Higgins, crafty as ever, trying to hit a big post switch, transitions to a roll, and Silvas able to counter that. Saw it coming, was able to counter that, and now he's back to work. Keeping pressure. Bottom man gets hit for stalling again. That's going to be an additional point for Silvas. On top, as he's going to work, he's digging those inside bar arms out, and he's keeping heavy pressure, and he keeps going from the bar arms to the halves. If he can just roll that elbow up, he's just having trouble catching the elbow high. Something he'll have to keep working on, but he's getting there. Higgins now back to his base, and Silvas has got to get him broke back down. He doesn't want to give Higgins the chance to stand or be on his knees, and Higgins is where he needs to be to get crafty. He's been real crafty here from the bottom, hitting rolls, hitting these little sit-out switches. If he can get to the quad pod, he'll be where he can score, but Silvas doing a good job pulling the posts away. Like we said earlier, he's pulling the posts away, and that's keeping him from being able to quad pod. Silvas has got to get back out to the side and bump him down and now keep him down, just like he is. Doesn't need to work out of bounds. He needs to stay here and burn that clock. Higgins now wearing heavy from carrying the pressure of Wyatt Silvas. It's starting to wear on him a little bit. You can see it on the expression on his face as he's trying to work himself back up to his knees. It's a lot of work. A lot of work to keep coming up with a big man on top of you. Higgins doing a good job of staying in the match. And Silvas doing a good job here grinding it up on top. 20 seconds to go as they wrestle here on the edge. Higgins again goes for another roll, and Silvas able to stop it. Looks like we're going to find an upset here, folks. Number 9 ranked wrestler in 5A gets upset by Guthrie's Wyatt Silvas as we come down to the end. Wyatt Silvas picks up the win for the Blue Jays, and that's going to be 3 more points for Guthrie. We're going to move on to heavyweight 285 pounds, where Nick Mitchum of El Reno is going to be taking on Sir William Morgan of Guthrie. Sir Will, another one of our football players. Getting back to action here in his 5A competition. Going to be taking on Nick Mitchum, a sophomore out of El Reno. The big boys are after it, and a lot of times bad things can happen very quickly when these guys get going. So we'll see if something fun happens here. First 30 seconds gone, nothing scored. These guys are hand fighting hard. Looks like an offensive lineman and a defensive lineman battling for pass protection as they hand fight inside here, digging for inside ties and heavy collar ties. There's a snap down by Mitchum, not able to score with it, but getting the attention of Sir William Morgan. And remember, we've got 2 more weights after this. Normally we start at 106 and end at heavyweight, but tonight we started at 120. So we're going to go back to 106 pounds and end at 112. Kind of a weird way to do the duel. I think they probably drawed for these weights, and that's what they came up with. So not the last match of the night. We still got 2 more to go. Sir William Morgan of the Bluejays in the blue, taking on Nick Mitchum of El Reno in the white. Heavy collar ties, 30 seconds to go. No one yet taking a risk. Both guys just heavy on the collar ties, happy to fight here. Waiting for someone to make a mistake. We're down to 20 seconds to go. Couple snap downs, couple little arm drags. Both these guys in here hand fighting hard. And there's another big, heavy head snap. Nick Mitchum's, every time he hits these, he's getting Sir Will a little bit lower. Hadn't put him on his hands yet, but look for that. Oh, here's a bear hug by Mitchum. He's got it in deep. Underhooks to a bear hug. Sir Will goes for a headlock, and Mitchum throws it by, but all at the end of the period. Referee blew the whistle, so no points are scored here. As we start the second period, we're going back on our feet. Guthrie coaches felt Sir Will had a better chance here, so they're going back here to hand fight and bang. There he's back. Mitchum back on the head. That's going to be 2 points for Sir Will, 3 points for the takedown. That's a side headlock. Mitchum, in trying to take down Sir Will, sort of just slipped and fell. Sir Will threw him by and lands in a side headlock. Gets 3, and then Mitchum able to reverse that position and get 2 for the reversal. Sir Will still up 3-2, 3 points for the takedown, 2 points for the reversal. And now he finds himself on bottom of Nick Mitchum, who's got Sir Will bellied out now. And not a good spot for Sir Will. He's got to find a way to get back to his knees so that he can get to his feet, so that he can get out from underneath Nick Mitchum, who currently is trailing Sir Will 2-3. Mitchum trying to go out there and get that hammerlock. He had an inside bar and was running it out to get the hammerlock, lost the arm, so he ends up coming back. Now he's going back out to the other side as he's digging for that bar arm to try to put it into a hammerlock. And now he's got a half on the inside. Sir Will's got to clamp down hard and post that right leg. Able to survive that one. Nick Mitchum, though, going to work on top with 30 seconds left. He's got plenty of time here. And Sir Will's got to posture the other way. And Mitchum trying to pull that arm out. Got it on his back now. Sir Will's going to be in a lot of trouble. Mitchum's got a crossface. He's trying to grab the far elbow. If he can catch it, he'll roll him over. Not able to make it happen. Sir Will fighting tough down here. As we're down under 5 seconds left to go in the second. Choice is going to go to El Reno. And El Reno's trailing by 1 point. I take that back. Choice will go to Guthrie. And Guthrie's going to choose neutral. And so we're back on our feet. Remember the last period, Mitchum nearly had a takedown and then slipped and fell, or Sir Will threw him by. Something happened and Will fell on top. Got 3 for the takedown. And now we find ourselves back on our feet. As these guys battle for position. Now, Sir Will does not need to take a risk here. He's winning the match. Mitchum's the one that's got to do something here. Got himself underneath. Sir Will tried to do a snap down, just wasn't able to go behind. And Nick Mitchum, being that he's trailing by a point, he's the one that's going to have to force the action, and he's the one that's going to have to take the risk. Sir Will, he's still going to have to wrestle, but he can wrestle a lot more careful. He doesn't have to force anything. He doesn't have to dive in on any legs. He doesn't have to throw any headlocks. He can just sit here and just try to be defensive and just keep Nick Mitchum off of him. Mitchum, though, in on a single leg. Did a nice job setting that up. I didn't see it coming. But he did a nice job as Sir Will able to stomp that foot out and get his leg back. And Mitchum's going to have to do more of that. Sir Will, though, with a big snap down. And now we got us a match here with these heavyweights. Mitchum just marching down Sir Will. 30 seconds to go. Mitchum with the snap again. These guys back and forth now. Mitchum's going to have to do something. He's going to have to go for something big, go for some type of shot, some type of a body lock, some type of trip, something. He's got to go for broke here. A stall call's not going to win it. He's going to have to score a takedown of some kind to beat Sir William Morgan. And we're down under 5 seconds. Morgan's keeping him off. He's pushing him away. And Sir William Morgan's going to come away with the victory over Nick Mitchum at heavyweight. And that's going to be 3 more points for the Blue Jays as Sir William Morgan picks up his first dual win of the season. All right, like we said earlier, we're going to bump back down to 106 pounds. Where Mason Hoffman of El Reno is going to be taking on Joel Landry of Guthrie. Mason Hoffman ranked number 3. Number 3 in 5A. And Joel Landry ranked number 10. So number 3 versus number 10, and Joel Landry almost comes behind, and then Mason Hoffman rolls through and ends up on top. Good little scramble there. I thought Landry was going to have it, and then Hoffman, just savvy to what was going on, hits a little roll through and able to come back up on top in a scramble and picks up 3 points for the takedown. Guthrie up in the duel, 42-34. 42-24. 14, I'm sorry. 42-14. Guthrie ranked number 5 right now in 5A. And El Reno currently ranked number 15. So number 15 versus number 5. And Guthrie doing what they're supposed to here in winning this duel. But now we've got a pretty good match here going on. Landry having trouble getting off bottom. He's giving up a takedown and some near fall. As Mason Hoffman working on top to score again. Trying to get this little pullover before the end of the period. It looks like Landry is going to avoid any more points as we conclude the first period. Choice is going to go to Guthrie here in the second. They're going to defer to El Reno. El Reno is going to choose bottom. And Mason Hoffman up 6-0. We'll start in the bottom position. Joel Landry from Guthrie on top. Big whistle move there by Mason Hoffman. Gets right to his feet. Landry smart to dodge or to drop. And then there he goes again. Mason Hoffman scrambling. Just drops down and rolls for that leg. He's quite the scrambler. Forcing Joel Landry to just let go of everything and let him out of there. And now we're back to work. On our feet. Mason Hoffman gets a point for his escape. That's going to put him up 7-0. Landry in on a shot here. Too shallow to grab the leg, just able to touch it. And now Hoffman in the front headlock. Both guys standing. Look for Hoffman to put his head in the hole and cut the corner and grab that leg. As he does, he was setting up that head in the hole cradle. Not able to get the cradle, but now he's got him on his back for the near fall. Looks like he's going to go for a pin here. This is tight. He's laying out the leg. And Joel Landry gets pinned by Mason Hoffman of El Reno. That's going to be 6 points for El Reno. As we move on to 112 pounds. 112 pounds is going to be a forfeit. That will be 6 points for the Blue Jays. As Uriah Sis gets the win and Guthrie gets the victory. As they finish this duel 48-20 over the El Reno Indians. Guthrie, with the loss tonight to number 1 ranked in 4A Tuttle, bounce back with a big victory over El Reno in what has been an exciting night. A lot of good matches tonight, a lot of good wrestling. Want to apologize again for all of the technical difficulties that happened early on. You guys that have been tuning in so faithfully are used to a much better product, and I want to apologize. We'll get that stuff ironed out for next Thursday night. Remember, we've got a duel at home against Duncan, and that duel will start at 6 o'clock. If you can make it out, we'd love to see you. If not, tune in to us here live on the GMP, and we will be live again. Not sure we're going to do much of a post-fight today or a post-match today, guys, with all the technical difficulties. Just want to thank you guys all for tuning in. Want to thank the sponsors one more time. Topco Cabinets and Countertops sponsor this duel tonight, this tri-duel, and we want to just give them a special shout out and thank them for all that they do for our Guthrie Blue Jays. I want to give another shout out to those guys who contributed to this beautiful new Blue Jay and new mat that we have down here. We are so grateful and so thankful for this community in Guthrie that is always supporting our Blue Jay wrestlers. And just want to say thanks again for tuning in to this broadcast and for bearing with us. And we will be back again on Monday. For the Blue Jays Wrestling, and for Lindsey Silvis, and for Chris Evans, I am Sean Silvis, and we are going to sign off tonight. Go Guthrie.